You feel it, don't you? That sense of dread filling your soul. The fear of your enemies knowing your every move, yet you persevere. You found it. The last key. The key to not only your salvation, but the salvation of the world. They're coming. You hear them trampling down the halls. They were called scientific marvels, but they have many names. Walkers, living dead, zombies. But you know what they truly are?
This is about James Bond.
Abominations. They're here. They clamor at the door, and soon they will breach. You steady yourself, for this is no time to die.
There it is.
Now is the time.
For the Fake Nerd Podcast, episode 258, review of No Time to Die, and a whole bunch of other stuff. How's it going? I'm Ben Magnet. That's Brandon T. McClure.
Hi. That's a weird way to start this show.
Ryan Eliopoulos.
It's not dark enough for that.
And
It's 3
you
o'clock.
son of a bitch.
And in sports weather, an orange wave is cresting over in thunderstorms over the blue skies of LA this week, blocking out 3 days of sun. We'll see how it goes for Ben Magnet this week, friends.
Yeah, how'd it go for you last night, huh?
I mean, it went fine.
No, it didn't. A 9-2 loss, really?
Yeah,
You think that's fine?
I do, Ben.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so. I think the Dodgers are going to take it in LA. But anyways, we're not talking about
I
that.
have to know. For the audio listeners, what happened was, as soon as the intro started, as soon as Ben started talking, Sparks reaches under the table and and puts a hat on his head that says
San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, and Ben had no clue.
Until I looked.
I'm glad you waited.
Because I'm not wearing any, for audio listeners, I'm not wearing any sports appeal. Because right now, as we're recording this, it's I'm not, okay?
I'm just seeing what you're wearing. Relax,
I'm wearing my
homie.
Dungeons and Dragons t-shirt and a Legend of Zelda hat. 'cause-
Right.
Who would wear
Ryan-
Zelda shit? That's so dumb.
Ryan and I were both like, "What?"
The only thing Ben has on him of sports memorabilia is, of course, his Giants tattoo.
No,
I am wearing a
Never.
Zelda shirt.
never. The only sportsman would be that
Pics on our Instagram soon.
God, no. But yeah, the hat that Sparks is wearing is the San Francisco Giants winning the National League division this year.
Well, good for them.
No, not good for them. It's supposed to be mine.
I'm sorry,
It's
I
supposed
don't
to be
They should
Dodgers.
win
Dodgers.
the international league.
Well,
too.
guys,
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how it goes. Go Dodgers.
we're back. It's
Beat
early.
Repeat LA.
It's in the afternoon.
Yeah, beat Carmel. Is that what we used to say?
That is what we used to say.
Yeah.
Who's Carmel? Oh, is that your rival high
I
school?
was in PG
it's
High.
our-
Yeah.
our-
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Bringing it back.
All right, so it's early today. We're recording in the afternoon, and guess what? We have links. As always, we have tons of links in the description.
I have a link, and definitely he has a link, and we have a third link. That's amazing.
I have a link.
Those
You
are the
don't
only
even know the
links
shit.
that are in the
Oh,
description.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have some links in the description. There is a Fake Nerds Watch for Star Trek Lower Decks, episode 8, that I did with Michael Carls, and Late to the Game Cookie from Just a Little Podcast.
Woo! He made it.
He made it just in time. That's always been a fun time talking Star Trek with those guys. We talked for an hour today. There's a new episode recorded for episode 9. We talked for an hour. I will say 20 minutes of that is maybe the episode we're talking about
Nice.
because we just like talking Star Trek together. It's fun. It's been fun.
That's
It's good.
awesome.
I'm losing my pad. Oh no.
Oh no.
Conversation is now on hiatus. The last episode of season 1 of Conversation is up now.
Nice.
Michael Hamilton from the Kaiju Weekly podcast. It's the first time I've had 2 co-hosts
Hell yeah.
from a
Yeah.
podcast.
That's not true. You the Fake Nerd Podcast.
Oh my god.
Way to go, bud.
Wow. It's like we're not even here.
Oh my god. Okay, it's the first time that I don't want to.
Just keep going.
I
Just
don't
keep
want
going.
to keep trying.
Roll on.
Right. So Michael Hamilton, I think that's a really good episode to end on. I do kind of, I think I talk a lot at the end of the episode when I end it, but I was really emotional because I don't want to have to end it. But due to circumstances of my life, I feel like I have no choice.
Hey, it's just on pause. It's not over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it's a hiatus. So I mean, I'm bummed that it's not. I mean, there's no episodes in the immediate future, but the fact that you're going to do it again still makes me happy.
I think it's for the best because like you have the show more room to grow and time. If you just kept trying to like keep it going just to keep it going, you were gonna like hit a wall of guests eventually.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And it will come back. And I'm already reaching out to podcasters for recording dates. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to bring it back, but it's a good episode. I really liked talking to Michael. He had some
Hell
really
yeah.
good insight.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. Basement Arcade pause menu.
oh yeah, that happened. I do have links in the description. Shit, I forgot.
You
Yeah.
do.
Conversation with Arcade Attack.
Yep, conversation with RTK Attack is
Uh,
up.
I'm gonna interrupt and give a quick note. Like it's not Ben's fault. The audio is real bad at the end of that.
Oh
episode.
yeah, it is.
I did everything I could, but it's an audio feed off of StreamYard, which means there's very little I could do to clean it up. they had someone in their home
Yeah.
that was really messing up their mics
Yeah.
in the end. And so, especially if you listen to the audio version, like you just kind of can't make out what Ben's saying at the end.
Because when you told me that, I was like, oh yeah, because I was talking with two of the guests of Arcade, or two of the hosts of Arcade Attack, and then the other two showed up and they were getting ready in the kitchen, and apparently they must have a smaller house, so the sound echoes like mad in there.
I get it.
And yeah, you could definitely hear something because they were in the kitchen taking care of stuff. But I mean, 98% of the episode is really, really good.
Mhm.
There's some good shit in there. It's just that last little bit is kind of, it's hard. So I apologize. And yet, Sparks, you did do a good job. You did what you could. I thank you, my friend.
Yeah, just that, watch out for that and
Yeah.
other recordings.
Yeah. I will
Yikes.
definitely let people next, because they're going to be on the show again soon.
Yeah.
But I will let them know. It's like, hey, just let you know, the last few minutes were really rough.
There is an audio and a video of that
Mhm.
episode
Watch the video.
on both the feeds. So regardless of preference, it's there for you. Basement Arcade pause menu.
Yeah.
Basement Arcade had an episode released for Amnesia, a machine for pigs.
It's
Yep.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Where we try to scare Ben.
Yeah.
It worked.
It did work. Didn't
There
it?
were some spooky parts to it. Yeah. Like I saw some shadows running in directions that weren't very.
You missed a monster.
I did miss a monster. That's
There was a little girl running down a hallway with a spooky scream. I was a fan of that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
or walking through the house and realizing that it's like, oh, you can like see into bathrooms. This is creepy.
Yeah, and all the spooky drawings.
Yeah.
So that's up right now. That you can check that out in the link below. And Basement Arcade also released the first episode of our series on Aliens Fireteam Elite.
Game over, man.
I'm joining you guys, Sparks and Ryan, to go
Yes.
through the Aliens Fireteam Elite game.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Also scared me.
Yes. Not the same kind of spooky, but like high tension. Man, you really don't get a moment most of the time to
No.
calm down. Like very rarely. There are small pockets where like you don't have.
There's a
zombies
nice
coming.
hallway before you're like, oh, there's
No, it's
violence.
like it's the moment where like it's about to be bad, and they're like, all right, we'll let you like get your shit ready. Like,
Well,
go
it's-
ahead and play it in your
it's a type
minds.
of thing where like you go into an area and it gives you like, all right, here's life and here's sentry turrets and here's like a bunch of ammo and you're like, oh, we're about to get murdered. aren't
Yeah,
we?"
yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
It's like in every video game.
And
Like
that's-
right before the boss room, there's a save point, there's a health point. It's like, oh sweet, potions and items. There's a boss fight in the next room, isn't there?
But anywhere else in the game, if you linger too long, like a different
vent will
opens
just open.
and a whole bunch will
Yeah,
come out.
they
And you're
won't
like,
let
oh
you.
man, come on.
Yeah. There's a moment that I think is the best part of the episode, where I lingered a bit in the room behind us
Yeah,
as
it's
you guys
around,
left.
it's around the 12-minute mark.
And they just hear me screaming because what had happened on my end, because you can't see it on the video, I heard a loud hissing, knowing what that was, being one of the warrior xenomorphs. So I just ran.
I just want to say, because I saw that clip and it makes me laugh just because Ryan, it's perfectly timed. Ryan goes, don't go it.
That
No,
was me.
Sparks goes, sorry. I don't know why I keep getting you two mixed up. Ryan, Sparks, fucking hell. Sparks goes, don't go into the long grass. And instantly you hear Brandon go, woo, woo.
He went into the long grass.
That was a lot of fun. And then like immediately after, which I didn't remember, but immediately after a prowler attacks me.
Well worth a watch. We go through the entire first campaign.
99% of it.
Yeah.
Literally till the
Yeah,
end.
We
You
got
can-
so close.
You can watch that all, check it out, see how we do. It's fun. We're gonna be playing the rest of those campaigns.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. We'll
We're
get 'em out.
trying. We're gonna try and squeeze them all out in October, but it might not happen. We're not stressed about it. It's not a official Spooktober thing,
Yeah,
but
it's
it is.
honorary.
Honorary.
It's not a scary ass thing, unlike the torture they're putting me through.
Oh man, I'm so excited
I did not.
for one.
It's
of them.
not up yet, but I did not appreciate Outlast.
It's
That
the best one
I
ever made.
believe, if everything goes as planned, will drop tomorrow night. Outlast.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Joy.
So stay tuned for that. More stuff. We do a lot of stuff. We really enjoy doing it. But we
I'm
don't just
constantly updating the note on like what is the Spooktober Basement Arcade releases, like where am I trying to land them in editing.
And bad news, Ben, like Xbox Game Pass just added like a really scary one.
Oh
for
yeah,
free.
we added a new game to the list.
So like if we got time, like I'm so sorry. But you signed up for it, so like it's cool though.
More like you guys said, hey, this is a good idea. And my dumbass said, that'd
Hey.
be pretty good for content. And oh no.
You keep showing up.
I
It's
do
true.
keep showing
because
up. I
there's a
could
part
say
of
no.
you that enjoys it.
Well, also there's a part of me that really likes doing this.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
doing
That's what I
basement
said.
arcade,
That's exactly what I
also
said.
doing basement arcade. So
Yeah.
There are we don't just do links for stuff. We do other things as well. I put up I've been engrossed in James Bond. for
Yeah.
3 weeks.
That you have.
Gross.
I've been watching films. I've been going through video
Films.
essays. I almost decided to watch the James Bond Jr. animated show. I didn't go that far, but I thought about it.
Something tells me you dodged a bullet there.
Potentially, but it was all in favor. It was all in service because I had pitched an article idea to Atomic Geekdom, which is the site that I freelance for, much in the same way that you freelance, Ben, for Old School Gamer.
Mhm.
Analyzing kind of how the Daniel Craig Bond films have changed James Bond in small and big ways, and positive and negative. Very, very just. I had a 5-page essay essentially that I whittled down to a page and a half, and I submitted that. And
I wish you would have kept it 5.
I wish I could have, but deadlines, and they have a page count
Mhm.
limit. So
Sure, I got you. That was a good
Oh,
article.
oh, thank you, I appreciate it.
You should put the full 5 pages.
I
on the
really
Fichtner
liked it.
blog
It was
Yeah.
at
it
a
was
later point.
it was too short for my
Just
life.
like
I really
full.
liked it though.
You had the full 5 page saved, right?
No,
Right.
Oh.
It's okay. It's a good article.
but I what I'm gonna do is because it's on Atomic Geekdom, and it's not my site. But what I could potentially do is put up a longer version on our blog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'll look into that. I got some time this week.
Director's cut.
I can look at my notes again because I have my notes still, and I can refine it and whatnot. But so what's on Atomic Geekdom's website is the kind of the refined version of it. I'm pretty proud of it, honestly. I really enjoyed writing it. I really enjoyed James Bond. I got the chance to just talk about Bond for a bit. It was great. So that's linked below, and you can check that out. Ryan,
Hey.
you have a Downright Annoyed because we recorded on Saturday last week.
It's true. What did we watch?
Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's right, guys. What a surprise! What a surprise! Let me tell you. If you haven't watched it in a while, give it a chance. I'm not saying it's great. It's not great, but now that I'm in Fast and Furious 9, Hobbs and Shaw land, there's things I like so much about 2 that the things that I like about the franchise weren't really in 1. Like the family stuff is there, but like the bombast and like the over dramatic stuff and like the espionage, like that starts in 2. And I really like it. It's like Paul Walker's not good at all. He's awful. And I'm like,
What are you talking about, cuh?
like but I forgot like Roman's so good. Tyrese is so good in that movie. Watch that episode, or just watch the movie. Give it a chance again. Like again, it's still probably the
That's when
worst.
he had like stuff to prove.
Yeah, and like his character is like he's definitely the character that's like remained the same. Whereas like Tej was just a dude like gambling on like Sea-Doos, and now he's like the smartest like hacker in the world. And I'm like, that's a character change. But like
Right.
it's movies like escalation. I get it. But like Roman, like I forgot like oh yeah, he starts here and he's been the same and he's only gotten like better. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot to appreciate in that second movie. Still probably the worst in that franchise, but that just goes to show, hey, that's actually a pretty good franchise.
Have you seen the Twitter discussion going around about the bisexual representation that is Too Fast, Too Furious?
Bro, that movie.
There is a video.
Now that I've seen it, oh my god.
There is a video by I think his handle is Ben from Canada. He's one of the editors for the Weekly Planet.
Yeah.
And he put up a video, and he admits this is all subtext.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But it's a very compelling video. I was like, I see it.
Yeah.
I
Um,
totally see it.
Yeah, lots of it's again, not great, but really fun. Like definitely
And
like-
that's really what you need.
that's
Yeah.
what you need. Yeah. It's got speed lines like Speed Racer. And I'm like, hey,
A
that's
Fast and
awesome.
Furious movie can be bad, and as long as it's fun, you're
Yeah.
fine.
100%.
I've also put in the link for tonight's Downright Annoyed.
Oh yeah, it's Prince of Darkness.
Love it.
Can't wait to talk about that one.
Since we're recording earlier than that, I figured I'll just put in the link. So if you guys want to check it out afterwards, that'll be
Donald
there.
Pleasance.
Oh yeah.
Love him.
And that's
Alice
it.
Cooper.
Michael. No.
That's all the links in the description. A lot of cool
All right.
stuff, I think. A lot of cool stuff from us, I think.
Um,
Who wants to go first of the week?
I'll go.
Do it.
We got stuff to do today. We got a schedule, so I'm gonna just hit these real quick. I don't have a lot to say about most of them. Most of them are repeats because I'm still reading Dune. I'm still watching Mobile Suit Gundam when I can.
mhm.
I watch What If.
Mhm.
Check out our discussion dropping tomorrow
What
on
If?
that. Only Murs in the Building. Still a great show.
Hell yeah.
Who's surprised? I saw Spectre. I'm not going to say a lot about Spectre because I watched Spectre this week to do No Time to Die. I will probably reference that in my discussion of No Time to Die later today, so I'm not going to do anything about that right now. The only things I'll touch on is I did watch a little more Supergirl, and I don't have anything specifically new to say about the episodes itself, but something did stand out to me that I was like, right, I am really happy about this. The show's in its last season, and I am very pleased with the entire arc from where we started to where we are now of Kara and Lena. I think it is ultimately a better told, we are friends who were kind of turned to enemies for a time, but that friendship didn't die version of what they did with Clark and Smallville.
Okay.
And it's better. I do think that like, that part of it is told better because at the end of the day, like the friendship is the more important thing. And like the spoilers, like Kara and Lena do work it out.
Did any of them get amnesia?
No.
Okay, good.
Only in the sense of like when the crisis happened, like certain details were forgotten and like everybody had to like be remembered of like what the world blend was.
Yeah.
But that's the only change. No amnesia. Like Lena and Kara kind of like both admitted where they screwed up the friendship to the point where that put them at odds with each other.
Who's Kara's love interest?
Currently?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Oh, who was it when they were enemies?
I forget.
Okay, I was gonna make a Smallville joke. You know, remember when Lex made Lana kryptonite?
Yeah. They just did a better job about making it so that we can both admit where like we genuinely screwed this up, which I always feel like was a problem in Smallville, that Clark couldn't admit where he was pushing Lex away and pushing Lex towards his fate. And Kara did acknowledge like, this is where I made mistakes. This is where you made mistakes. And Lena's like, yeah, you're right. But like, this is where I made mistakes and I should have been better. And I think that part of the show is very good. And like this last episode had some good Kara Lena stuff. So that made me like go, yeah, that's really good. And if nothing else, like I'm really happy that that's a solid through line of that show. Anyway, enough about Supergirl. The only other thing I'll talk about is Megan and I wanted to do something spooky-esque, and we were bouncing around on things trying to pick something to watch, and we decided to land on MTV's Scream. This was the MTV series adaptation of Scream. It is its own take on Scream. I watched the first season, so I'm rewatching it with her. But I really liked it. I didn't watch seasons 2 and 3. We might this time. But I really like season 1, and returning to it at this point, I'm like, it really is a good, like exactly just like the film is, like bottle of that representation of youth and how they like, and to being a satire of what horror is at the moment and slashers in particular. It is that again for a new generation, but without bringing in the lore of what Scream was before. And I think that is pretty good.
I heard nothing but good things, and people were so surprised.
Yeah. One of your favorite actors is in it, Brandon.
Next to Klaus.
Yes. We're back in that, and I really like it.
Did you see the new Scream poster that got released?
I did. I saw two new Scream posters, and I
love the tagline.
Still disappointed they didn't call it 5 Cream.
5 Cream. I love me some 5 Cream.
For those who don't get that, Scream 4 put the 4 in the A. So I'm like, come on, make the S a 5. It's 5 Cream. We'll call it Scream 5, but it's 5 Cream.
The tagline, it's always somebody you know.
There's a
so good.
Oh, I saw the one that says you look like you've seen a ghost.
Oh, mine was like, yeah, it's always somebody you know.
There's a lot of like Scream 5 stuff coming because
5 Cream?
Because we're only a few months away from it.
January.
Yeah, and
that makes me super nervous. You don't normally drop horror movies, especially in January. Like January is always considered a dead month for movies, but like a horror movie especially
that's
is like
usually a bad sign. Maybe they're trying to like
I'm hoping
it's like the one gold mine there.
There's a lot of people. What I always find interesting is the people, or not necessarily the case of casuals, but the people who are between us and them, the ones who aren't like as in go. Like we've known for like a year and a half now that the directors of Ready or Not are doing Scream 5.
The pandemic, I'm sure,
hurt
stuff too.
Yeah, and so like it's really funny. It's really fun to watch people be like, wait, the directors of Ready or Not? Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Well, because we're in the know,
right? And I think that's really cool. I really like seeing that reaction from people be like, oh, now I'm super stoked for this thing because now I have that information.
One thing that like I will never be this type of person because I'm entrenched in it. But like when we go to like see big movies, people see trailers for movies for the first times in the theaters. Like people don't watch trailers on their own. A lot of people are like, oh shit, there's a new Star Wars coming out. Like I can't fathom that because I know the second the director and producer announced, because that's just that person I am. But it is fun, to see like I wish I had that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I look at them like, man, I
That's why I never watch clips of movies when they're released, because you're just showing me the movie. Like
Yeah.
that's why I never want to watch clips.
I'm the same way. I don't watch clips or TV spots.
Give me a trailer or two.
That's my week. I remain slightly trepidatious about Scream 5. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
5 cream.
Are you gonna go to the Scream House for on?
Oh, come on! Like there are way bigger
Airbnb?
Scream heads than me that are gonna get that thing like right away.
Yeah. Ryan, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Down the line.
I did a whole lot this week, but I also am gonna speed run it because whatever. It's Halloween time, so I'm trying to watch a horror movie every day, but that's just not gonna happen. But I watched plenty. I watched Underwater, which is a Kristen Stewart, Vincent Cassel horror movie.
I was
then
bummed
just
I
watch
couldn't
it.
watch that with you.
I know. Just it's great. It's straight up Lovecraft. Like in the first 5 minutes, it's guys, they're underwater and Lovecraft's happening. It doesn't shy away from it at all. I love it. It's really
awesome.
cool. It's really bleak, but like has like a nice positive sense to it. I watched Sputnik, which is a 2018 Russian horror movie. It's Alien meets Venom. It's about an alien in the an astronaut in the 80s who crash lands in Russia. It's about a lady psychoanalyzing him and the symbiote inside his body. Super great. It's really terrific. Like one of the best movies I've watched in a long time. Like it's so good. It's so intense. And like the main actress, she's like a Russian Florence Pugh. She's so talented. Like she makes me want to watch other Russian movies with her in it. She's so good. I watched Willy's Wonderland, which is a Nicolas Cage Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff that the director said he definitely didn't rip it off. It's fine. Like if you want to watch a fun Nick Cage movie, like there are worse movies to watch, but like it's so low budget, you can tell. It's Nick Cage punching dudes in suits. And if you're cool with that, it's a good time. I watched Beyond the Black Rainbow. It's the first movie from the director of Mandy. I don't think anyone here will like this but Sparks. This is that's just like it is imagine the Green Knight, but just bad horror vibes. There's not a lot of dialogue. It's just crazy visuals. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's if David Lynch was having a bad day, this is the movie he'd like to make. I loved it. It's crazier than Mandy, which is a crazy thing to think that like Mandy was the sequel thing. I watched Prince of Darkness, which I'll talk about later tonight. I watched all of Squid Game. Squid Game is the best show of the year. Believe the hype. I wish. So Tiger King had this much hype in the pandemic. Now Squid Game has this much hype, but Squid Game actually deserves it. Squid Game is so good. It's a South Korean drama that's part battle royale, part Parasite. It's a critique on capitalism and slavery and lots of horrible shit. And it is the thing that works so well about it is not just how intense and violent it is that you care about so many characters. The show starts with 100 characters, right? And you're like, how am I supposed to care about all these characters? And of course, a lot of them get murdered, but like there's a dozen characters that you're supposed to like, and then a lot of them die. And it's really, really tragic, and it's really good. And it's like it might be the best battle royale thing like ever made, like truly. I want to watch it again, like for real. I love it so much. And also, there's like a subtitle like dilemma problem going on online. So I solved the problem. I watched it subbed and dubbed. So I watched it in English with English subtitles.
There's
so
also like
nothing was
there's
wrong.
also like you just need to be careful. Like don't watch the closed captioning.
I
watch the subtitles. Those are not perfect but close.
Yeah. So to rectify that, I also watched the English dub. So I had two versions. So there was either two versions I could pick which version was the better line. Because also the lines are like exactly the same. Like, oh, I'm going through the door. I'm walking through the door, right? It's always just variations on the same line. So like a lot of the times it doesn't really matter.
So did you watched it in English with the subtitles on?
Yeah, and they were
Gotcha.
different. Almost every
Right.
line was different.
Right.
It's really bizarre how that works. I watched a couple episodes of Demon Slayer. That show's still great. There's a new Infinite comic about Kushala, who is the spirit rider from the 1800s. Her great-great-granddaughter, the present day, whose name is Olivia Oberta, who's a Native American resident, she is going to become the new Ghost Rider, and she's currently battling Doctor Doom in space. But how did this happen? We got to find out. Friggin' awesome, you guys. Ghost Rider's so cool. You know, I'm just so in the Ghost Rider mode. And of course, like there's a new Ghost Rider comic immediately. How great is that for me? The webtoon scrolling thing works really well. Like it's just so cool. Like I'm really digging this webtoon format. I'm behind on the Wayne Family Adventures, but I do like building those up because they're so quick to read. So like a couple chapters at a time.
Sure.
I didn't do anything with you this week, right?
No. Not
Okay.
that I can recall.
Ben, hit it.
All right. So pretty much media wise, Dune. That's it.
Oh, I also read Dude.
Yeah, that's all the media I really did, and also trying to write articles for OSG, but that didn't happen because
Hell
you
yeah.
know Dune. But one thing did happen to me this week that I really want to talk about because the gaming gods decided to smile upon me. So October 8th, Metroid Dread releases, and the whole time up to this, I'm constantly checking the Nintendo website to see if I can get a pre-order on this Dread special edition. Comes with an art book, a steel book. It's really freaking cool.
Oh yeah.
It was gone the second it was announced on Twitter. I had no freaking clue. Sparks was kind enough to constantly send me stuff. He's like, hey, it's up on this website or it's up on this website.
What a
But
guy.
of course, since I was at work, every time I would actually see it and actually go to it, it was all gone. So Friday morning, I wake up early and I'm trying to call these stores and find out if they have copies, like just non-pre-order copies of Dread Special Edition. As I'm trying to call these stores, they're not answering, they're not picking up. So I figure, you know what, I'll just go to my local GameStop. I go to my local GameStop. There is a line outside the door. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And then it hit me.
They're Far Cry 6.
Not only did the Metroid Dread come out, but the OLED came out and a bunch of Pokemon cards came out. A bunch of Pokemon card sets came out as well.
Nice.
So people were
and
there.
Far Cry 6.
And Far Cry
and
6.
Back for Blood.
And Back for Blood.
Jesus.
So
Big
a
week.
lot of people were there for a lot of different things. So I'm standing in line. I'm just like, man, I really hope I am getting. So this one girl walks out. She has an OLED and a Dread, and she's asking people what they're there for. So she comes up to me and asks me what I'm there for. And I tell her, like, oh, I'm there to get special edition of Dread. And she got the last one at that GameStop.
Womp womp.
So I'm thinking, crap. I mean, I knew at the end of the day I was gonna get this game no matter what, special or standard edition. I was gonna get it because on yesterday, I streamed it live on my Twitch.
How would you do that?
So spoilers, he got it.
Let me finish, okay?
You spoiled it yourself.
So as I'm in line, I'm calling different stores. Yeah, but I didn't tell you which one I got.
I've seen your Instagram.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So I'm trying to call other stores, and one of them finally answers. I'm like, hey, do you have any copies of the Dread Special Edition? She's like, yeah, sure, of course. I'm like, can you hold it? Yeah, we can. Sweet. And I instantly just got out of line, and I'm still on the phone. And I also asked her, like, by any chance, do you have the amiibos? Because these amiibos also sell out quick, and they sell in the resale market for hundreds of dollars. Like the current one in package on eBay, people are trying to sell it for $100. It's nuts. And these things retail for $30.
That's a markup.
Freaking insane. So of course I'm like, do you have the amiibos? And they go, yeah, we have the amiibos. I'm like, can you hold that one too? He's like, yeah, sure, but we can only hold it for an hour. I was at that store in 20 minutes.
Wow.
I get there was no
Calling the
line,
cops.
no one was there.
Cops behind you.
We gotta get the Spanish amiibo.
But I got it. I got the special edition. I got the amiibo, and I didn't have to pay any scalpers. So scalpers, F you.
Well, you showed them. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, Ash. Honestly.
Yeah. So I got the special edition of Dread, and it is gorgeous.
Yeah, I watched your Instagram unboxing of it. Looks really cool.
Thank you.
My turn, I guess.
Mhm.
All right. Before I talk about some Bond that I did, I want to talk about Star Wars Visions. I finished that actually this morning.
Nice.
I woke up pretty early, so I was had some time to kill. So I watched that's a Bond title. So I watched I finished Star Wars Visions. I had like 4 or 5 episodes left. I don't think all of them are great. There are some ones that I didn't really connect with as much, but there are some that I really, really loved. The lore that they introduced into Star Wars, like, canon or no canon, doesn't matter. But there are some things they do in this that I think are really unique. And I wish that more Star Wars canon material would implement them, especially with how they deal with the Force and lightsabers and whatnot. I think all of that is really cool. No surprise, the first Trigger episode is my favorite because it's basically Gurren Lagann with Star Wars.
Have you seen Kill la Kill?
Not yet. Spark showed me the first episode of Kill la Kill, and I never went back. And
Wow.
I don't like that I didn't do that.
Well, you should.
I know I should. Soon, I hope. So
I do like Kill la Kill. I think it's its anniversary just a little bit ago.
It's very
oh,
good.
very cool. Then so I watched TOB1. That was really good. There's one called The Elder that was really good. The one I really liked was Lop and Ocho. I think that's what it's called, Lop and Ocho. That one actually got me to cry.
Okay.
I thought that was solid. So loved it. I recommend it. It's really great, like bite-sized Star Wars and anime, kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yep.
I think really solid stuff.
We'll have a more in-depth conversation at some later date.
Yes.
Then I finished, because I started this actually 2 weeks ago, but I finished it. Attack of the Hollywood Cliches. Rob Lowe hosts that. It's not a show. Which one?
It's not?
No,
No,
it's special.
It's a special. It's a 50-minute comedy special.
Oh.
And because of that, they don't go as in depth as I would personally like a dedicated how did this get made type of show.
I'll give you some YouTube videos.
Would be really fun to see in this kind of tone. But they don't shy away from a lot of things. They talk about like the origin of like Kill All Your Gays, where that comes from, the old black and white film. And then they talk about like the magical Negro type thing, and they talk about like song stuff.
That's good that they're talking about that. Yeah.
They don't shy away from any of like the hot button cliches.
Right. It's not just like happy ending cliche.
Yeah.
Wilhelm scream.
They
It's
can't
nice
advertise that though, because
things.
then half the people won't watch it.
right,
Right.
exactly. And they have like it's mostly, I know like the trailer had like Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, but honestly most of the talking heads are critics.
Right.
Are critics and film historians
Sure.
of
As it should be.
as it should be, people of color, women critics, some directors. Florence Pugh is there and Andrew Garfield are there, but they're not like the main focus point. Honestly, solid, really great. I'd like more. I'm
Sure.
only upset that there isn't more. I watched Halloween 3: Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. Season of the Witch.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
You
so I
didn't
watched
like it?
No, I didn't like it. I'm afraid.
Yeah. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
I will say, I did find one scene scarier than I've ever seen in a Halloween movie, and it's when the kid dies.
Yeah.
I had to turn
Iconic scene.
I had to turn it off
Yeah.
because I was so terrified. As soon as I saw something, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Sure.
But there's something, and you know me well, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I closed my eyes, but the music and the sound effects I could still hear it all, and it just was so intense and so terrifying that I was just like, I can't watch this anymore.
Right.
So I had to turn it off, and Zara was like, "So are we done?" I was like, "Just hold me, and we'll try and finish it." But ultimately, like it's pretty slow. I did find it to be an engaging mystery, but I really don't like the main character.
No, he sucks. Like that's part of the point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I must have missed. I missed
get
a
you.
lot of it.
I get you.
But I just could not connect with the film because I found him to be so devastatingly unlikable.
Sure. I
And
understand that.
Every woman who crossed his path deserved better.
I understand why you feel the way you do. For me, like a lot of what works about that movie is like the bleak idea of how it goes, how it unfolds, and what it means. The end of the movie means, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, honestly,
the way it sits on you.
I like the ending.
And especially in a way where, like, even now, but especially at the time, horror movies didn't kill kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like even now, that's very rare. And especially in such a brutal way. So for that alone, like super effective, and like it creates in your imagination because of how the film plays out that happening to so many other children.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's oh boy.
Yeah, I liked the ending. I thought it was a super ballsy ending.
Yeah, solid.
So we're gonna try and finish them all before I leave.
You like the cheeky, here's Michael Myers, but he's just on a movie on TV.
we both looked at it. He goes, "Oh my god, enjoy the horror marathon. It's just Halloween."
It makes sense. It's a logical way, especially knowing like you have an audience that's going in there that's going to be like, where's Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like I do lament, regardless of like how much I like Season of the Witch or other people might not or whatever, like I do lament that Halloween 2 following Halloween, which makes sense, and if you watch them together they're a pair, and I understand why they are that way and why they want to do it, but it killed that anthology idea so quickly, and I'm like, man, all the Halloweens we could have had.
People just
the what if scenario
refused.
of all the Halloween anthologies we could have had for decades.
And you know what? Like, I even get it. Like, if this were like the first or second Halloween, maybe, but like it's the third one. So like, I get as like if you're like a fan when it comes out, like just rejecting that. 30 years later, I think it rules.
Yeah. And I wish the studio had the boldness to try again.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
to reinstate the anthology thing rather than being like,
We
we're a
got
Michael Myers
we got
franchise
Trick or
entirely.
Treat. You know, we won.
Right,
in the end.
exactly. But like the idea that even if it wasn't every year, that like every few years you get a new Halloween scary movie story that's like it's Halloween, and like
We
you know
really
you get a
should.
director who comes in with a vision like that and all that kind of stuff, and like that idea that like that tradition could live on. And,
Bro, we
and
get like
that got
the
kneecapped so quick.
Valentine's Day and like New Year's Eve
Yeah.
movies with like 1,000 celebrities. Why can't we get like a cool horror anthology every year? Doesn't make
I
sense.
think it's entirely likely. I was thinking about this actually a lot. After Halloween ends, and we
Mhm.
give it a couple of years, we could see them go back to Halloween 3 and make like a 40-year later sequel.
I would love the idea that after Halloween ends, we decide to actually leave Michael Myers and do Halloween anthology.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Hollywood.
No, I don't believe in them either. But I could see like there being the possibility for
Well,
it.
the way things are so cyclical, like I don't even know if we go back to like the anthology thing, but like I could see them having a director be like, I want to make a sequel to Halloween 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we do that because that's just, Hollywood is cyclical. Things come around, things are reevaluated. I can totally see them going back to that at least
and
that movie.
and they understand that there's an amount of people who were enamored with Season of the Witch. The kids' masks are in the Halloween, and they're
Sequels,
back
yeah.
in Halloween Kills. Like they're aware.
And over time, it's become more appreciated.
Right.
But then I watched a lot of Bond movies. I will go in order. I watched On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is George Lazenby's one and only Bond film. I think it's a really solidly written movie, especially as a Bond film, and it's got a really interesting ending. Iconically, the movie ends with his wife dying on the wedding day. Phil kills his wife. And a really funny thing actually happens. It's really emotional and powerful. And I think Lazenby actually really sells the emotion of not coming to terms with the fact that he's watching his wife, this woman, the first woman he's ever loved.
Vesper?
No, not Vesper.
Madeline?
Oh, what's her name?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
No, it's M something, but it's not Madeline.
Mom?
Vesper is obviously a meant to be kind in a similar role
Mhm.
as this woman, but I don't remember her name specifically. But she, it's the first person that he's ever loved, and it's Lazenby, and he's really like selling that, and it's really sad, and the camera is like focusing on the bullet hole in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, boy, way to undercut all that emotion.
Tone killer.
Because every Bond movie had to end with the theme song.
Sure,
And I was
yeah.
like, you messed up. You should not have done that.
Like, I didn't like you watched like the editor's like, perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm a sociopath.
You feeling things? You feeling something? Screw that.
and honestly, it undercuts it. So I was hysterical. It's
Sure.
the funniest part of the movie.
Right.
There are a lot of detractors that really hurt the film. Lazenby is just doing a bad Sean Connery impression.
Sure, Sean Connery.
It's his first ever movie, so he's not an experienced actor. He famously tricked the Broccoli's to get into the movie to be cast. I acknowledge him as a Bond, but I don't think he's a very good Bond. I know On Her Majesty's Secret Service has been reevaluated over the years. I understand it and I see it, but as someone who just watched the full thing, I've watched bits and pieces before now, but as someone who finally watched the full thing today, it doesn't work. And a lot of it has to do with Lazenby not being able to carry the movie.
Sure.
And the editing of the action sequences is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's moments where they'll just give an example. There's moments where people will be punching, and then there will be a jump cut in the middle of the punch to the punch colliding, and that's awful and just so jarring, and it makes the action sequences really tough to follow. Yeah, look, no shame to anybody who likes the movie, but I didn't care for it.
Sure.
It's a season of the witch of the James Bond franchise.
Yeah, I guess so. And I watched the 2 Dalton Bond films. I've never seen them before. And I've always wanted to because I like Timothy Dalton. I've always liked Timothy Dalton, but after watching Doom Patrol, I'm so much more into him now.
Sure.
He's my...
You got Dalton on the brain.
If Brosnan wasn't the first Bond I ever saw, Dalton would be my favorite Bond.
Which ones
Yeah.
are Dalton's
You know,
movies
nostalgia
again?
doesn't have to. You can just make him your first.
No, but because nostalgia does play a factor with James Bond for me, like it is tough for me to be like,
Got it.
I get that. Like
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan's. I watched Pierce Brosnan Bond before I watched Sean Connery Bond.
I
So Pierce
wouldn't.
Brosnan. No, but I mean, like that's what happened. Like
I get it.
That's how it happened. It wasn't a plan. It was just I saw a Pierce Brosnan Bond before I saw a Sean Connery Bond. That's just
Yeah,
what
I saw
happened.
them.
And he stuck to me
That's
better.
Kids, that's what happens. It's like
Yeah.
when you're a kid, the things you watch is the things you attach
Yeah,
to. It's what
uh-huh.
happens. Yeah.
Which ones are Dalton's movies again?
So he did The Living Daylights and License to Kill.
Okay.
The
Who
Living... What?
Who did Man with the Golden Gun?
Roger Moore.
Oh, okay.
And Christopher Lee.
So, mama.
I think The Living Daylights is a good movie. Dalton falls into the Bond role so well, just like it's butter. He is James Bond the moment he walks on screen. It's darker than the Roger Moore film, so it is definitely a tone shift. Audiences were not prepared for it at the time, especially coming after Roger Moore. And he carries the movie so well, and it's good. But License to Kill might be my favorite James Bond movie.
Wow.
License to Kill, which I've never seen before, is such it is darker than even The Living Daylights, but there's a sense of like revenge to the movie that you have never seen before in a James Bond movie prior to Craig. We've seen that a lot in Craig, but like
yeah.
prior.
I was like, that's like all Craig.
Right. Take Craig out of the equation.
Sure.
He kind of the movie is Felix Leiter, who is his best friend. They're going to the wedding, and after the wedding, Felix Leiter gets half eaten by a shark and somehow survives. Whatever. And so he's done that because there's a crime lord who wants to kill Felix because Felix put him in jail. And so like the whole movie is like it's really the first time in James Bond canon up until that point where, some of you have heard this one, James Bond goes rogue and MI6 can't deal with him, and he goes out for revenge after this drug lord to revenge against Felix. That would obviously become a staple of the Craig films,
right?
And audiences, again, we're just not ready for it. It also has my favorite Bond girl. I think the girl that they cast as the main Bond girl really works and has really great chemistry with Timothy Dalton. I'm sad that lawyers prevented a third Dalton Bond film. I really am. I would love to have seen more.
Sure.
So I'm that's kind of what I have to say about it.
I do think, like, just like Connery and Brosnan, Dalton was born to Bond in a way that Moore and Lazenby never were.
Yeah.
Like there are people who just have it right off the bat. You see, especially like the version of the times, like Bond as he was imagined from Fleming, like they are able to slip into that so well.
That should be the James Bond documentary, Born to Bond. About all the actors.
It's called Everything or Nothing.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, I loved the Dalton Bond films. I'm so sad there's not more.
But if you were going to call it Born to Bond, you'd have to like be doing a retroactive analysis of those kind of films, starting from Jason Bourne backwards.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's so much better.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, I as I said, I've been engrossed in the James Bond canon again in a way that I haven't been in quite some time. Like I said, the article is down below where I kind of wrote my thoughts about the Daniel Craig films. Thank you, by the way. I know I blew through it, but I am really grateful that you guys enjoyed it and read it. So you guys check that one out, and that's my week.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
I would love as a joke to be able to like come back from the news intro and then just have the table full of bread and butter.
Oh.
Like it hadn't been here. And then that like 10-second clip of the jingle
We just
plays,
put
and
like
then
a whole bunch of bread.
and butter.
Just hiding under the table.
Yeah.
Bread and butter.
Just
As long as,
baskets and baskets.
Throwing it in our
as
face.
long as you don't put garlic bread on there, because I swear I will be eating that on mic, and you should not
I'll
do
just
that.
eat the bread. I don't
Yeah.
care what kind of bread it is. I'm
I'll
going to be eating it.
Yeah,
the
I mean, every time they give me bread at restaurants, I'm like, "Ooh, yay, bread!"
We got some news, guys.
Oh, we do.
Ghostbusters is getting a new video game.
All right.
Ilphonic is developing a new video game based on the Ghostbusters franchise. Now, if you don't know who they are offhand, they are the ones who did Predator Hunting Grounds and Friday the 13th, the video game.
Interesting.
Oh,
So they're doing a Ghostbusters game.
Ben
The
said
The
that like
cooler
he's
news.
disappointed.
The cooler news here, before we get into that, is that Raphael Sadiq is the co-owner of Ilphonic. He's from the band Tony Tony Tony. He's also in the first season of Luke Cage. He's a magnificent musician. He also runs a video game company.
Yeah.
Just some things you just don't think about sometimes.
Wild.
Effing radical. Cool guy.
I saw you tweeting about that.
I am actually very excited for this news. I don't give a really a shit about Ghostbusters. I like that first movie a whole lot, but like it's not a franchise I care about. But the biggest Ghostbusters fan on the internet, Greg Miller, who runs Kind of Funny, he said they are perfect for the team because what you want in a Ghostbusters multiplayer game is you want a team that you can be with your friends. You can upgrade your Ghostbuster. You can do different equipment. You go on ghost hunts. That's perfect. And what are the games that they make?
Right.
Friday the 13th and Predator were both those exact games.
And being able to like you have an amount of like using the map and that kind of shit in both of those to your advantage as either the survivors or the
monster, the ghost,
the
yeah.
warriors, the soldiers, or the predator / the Jason.
Now,
so the idea of playing like poltergeist and like different forms of poltergeist.
So we
against
don't
them.
know if this is asymmetrical like Dead by Daylight, or it's like Fire Team Elite. We don't know if if there's going to be an enemy you can play as. I'd assume so because they're past two games. Yes.
Right. I assume it will be similar.
You're
to
playing
Predator
as Slimer.
and that you are playing as different
Gozer.
poltergeists against them, and I think that could be a ton of fun, especially if you can like utilize things of the environment.
Yeah.
They are very good at incorporating things from
lore and
two
stuff.
of the best things. Like I dabbled in the Friday the 13th game a
It's
little bit
good.
last year. It is good, and like if you know the films, like boy do they know those films, and they crammed in so much of that stuff into like even the tiniest little bits.
They
that
get
you're able to,
original
like,
actors from the movies and stuff.
You're pretty much able to reenact if you want, if you can set up the circumstances, every kill from the first like 5 Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Like if you can put a person in the right place, you could do the kill from the movie. Like it's that way. And Predator just the same. Like there's a lot of passion clearly.
I was shocked at how much lore is in that Predator game.
Right. And so to do that with Ghostbusters and all the things you could do with Poltergeist, like I'm like, I'm sure there will be stuff from like there will be references to the animated show. There will
100%.
be things from the comics. Like
100%.
I'm sure it's going to be solid.
And
me too.
and
I'm
it
excited.
will most likely be like a budget game, so it'll be $40-$50. And it's like that's perfect for these
Easy to
type of
pick up.
games. Like not every game needs to be $70, you know.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Just
think
be a good multiplayer
Yep.
experience.
I think this is really exciting. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of exciting news, well, exciting for you guys, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate announced-
It's exciting for everybody.
Yeah.
announced their
You just need to start playing.
it's fair.
Yeah.
Well, they announced their final
Final for now.
for
For
now.
at least 3 years, and then
For at least 3 years.
and then the
they're
Pro
like,
will come
they're
out.
probably-
go make more.
Probably.
But it is
and then we'll champion Goku.
as Ben has been begging the ether for as long as I can
Pretty
remember.
sure it was a Christmas wish at one point.
Might have been.
Was it?
I think so.
probably.
I don't know.
I think you gave up on Mega Man at one point.
I think
you
I
were
did.
like Sora and Smash. That's my new Christmas wish.
Then we got him.
Yeah, we got
I'll
him.
go,
Sora-
I'll go back and check the receipts later.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts is
Yep.
the new playable character in Super Smash Bros.
Pretty cool.
that he is. And I knew
It would have been so easy to not have the Mickey Mouse chain on that Keyblade.
It
They could
would
have
have
just picked
been.
one of the other things, like
Yeah.
a pow pow fruit or whatever.
or they
Like-
or they could just have the Keyblade chainless.
It could have it could have been so many things. The fact that they were able to get the Mickey Mouse symbol, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. Even as they didn't get other things, like that's pretty impressive.
I mean, Disney was
yeah.
nice in that regard, but everything else, like in Sora's
Not
thing
that
and the
nice.
Dive into the Heart, you don't see Donald and Goofy. It's
Oh,
just a pow pow
no.
fruit in the raft.
They were able to get the logo.
Yeah,
Like that's as hard as they got. Yeah.
right.
I heard somewhere like I don't know if this is real or not, but there was a tweet going around that Nintendo paid Disney $40,000 to use the keychain, the Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I
No,
believe it.
That is no money in
Not for
in
now.
the millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
but
No.
the fact that they got Sora makes me. I mean, obviously that's the character my heart has been wanting because like. Right
Your
before
Kingdom Heart?
right before the direct came out or the announcement came, people were asking, "Who do you think it's going to be?" And I'm like, "Look, my logical brain says it's Crash
yeah.
Bandicoot, but in my heart of hearts, I want it to be Sora. But if it's not going to be Sora, I'm not going to be mad because so many people have been so vividly upset about their character not being in Smash. I'm like, I'm not going to dive into that. The characters are the character. We literally have 88 other characters to play in Smash Bros. There is a
That's
character.
so crazy to me.
And
Yeah.
with Sora, it's 89 playable characters. So
I have a question for all of you Kingdom Hearts fans.
Sure.
yes,
Where does this fall in canon now?
don't worry about it.
The same as all the rest of the characters in Smash. It doesn't. They're all toys.
yeah, yeah. So
Is that really the canon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah.
They're all little figures.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
like
just
little
thought that was just a
No.
design.
So like,
That's
even
from
going
the
back to
very
the
first
original
game,
Smash,
yeah.
that's the whole concept of why you fight a hand at the end is because
Oh,
they are like
yeah.
toys that you are playing
Mhm.
with,
Oh,
and they
that's
rebel
cool.
against the hand.
That's cool. I
yeah,
didn't
and
know
that it's like, and as the games progress, there's like the game theory of it is like Matt Pat from Game Theory had this theory about like the progression of the Smash games because in the final enemy in Smash Brawl for the Wii was this enemy called Taboo. And it was like
Mhm.
seeing it. It's like the theory is it's taboo to be playing with your toys as an adult because
Yeah.
as you play through Smash Bros and then Melee, it goes from a child to like maybe a preteen or a teenager, and then Brawl is you as an adult. So that's why the main enemy is Taboo because it's taboo to play with your old childhood toys.
Ben, in Kingdom Hearts, what's it called? Like you have Sora and Roxas. Like what is the name? The Heartless, the Nameless. What are they called? What's
Yeah,
Roxas called?
He's a nobody.
Nobody. Your nobody's name is Zebin.
Okay,
That's pretty cool.
I'm okay with
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I can definitely see where they sold Disney on this by saying like, if Sora's in Smash, more people will buy the Kingdom Hearts games that are coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a
And,
big deal.
That'll
Yeah.
get the kids that are playing Smash into
They
the
announced-
Switch releases, and
Dur-
then you'll make more money. And
during
Disney's like, yeah, all right.
pretty I had a feeling that they did that when Sora was announced for Smash, it was a good backdoor way for Sakurai to announce that the Kingdom Hearts games, all the Kingdom Hearts games are going to be available for Nintendo Switch.
That's the other
Cloud
news.
versions,
sense.
however, but still Kingdom Hearts on the Switch.
I just hope
That's
you have
cool.
a
knew,
good
we knew
internet
this
connection.
was on the horizon to an extent. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to just bring up, I mentioned earlier that it's really fun to see people's reactions, like fandom reactions to things that, that I may be intimately aware of, or maybe not. One of the things that was really cool is I was really excited for you to wake up and see this news, because I know you'd be really happy about it, and seeing people's reactions because they've shown the trailer with their reactions to it. It's been so cool seeing these people like just super happy to get this character into this game. I just think that's awesome.
So
Go ahead, Ben.
so when I woke up around like 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day, I was up super late the night before, and I thought to myself, I mean, the actual announcement starts at 7. That's 3 hours from now when I went to bed, but I decided to just go to bed and sleep. Right when I woke up, I instantly went to YouTube, but I did see all the notifications from you guys, from like in our text thread, from people tweeting at me, and the thumbnail showed me who it was, and I still couldn't believe it. And then when I finally saw the messages from like you especially, you're like, Ben, you're gonna be so happy when you wake up.
I
Oh my
tweeted
God.
because you tweeted the night before how bad of a day you had, and when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I think you're gonna be happy when you wake up.
Oh, I was very happy when I woke up.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that I would have bet money that this wouldn't happen. So I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Well done.
It would have to have been this character, or because like he's so big, like it had to
Right,
be
it
the
had
last
to be
character
somebody
or
big.
not at all. So I still was against it. Like
So-
I didn't believe it.
Well,
yeah.
so I know we're under a bit of a time limit, but I really want to bring this point across as to why Sora is one of the most perfect characters for Kingdom Hearts, and because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's going to be Master Chief." Smash Bros is so big, not only here in the West but also in Japan. So for Sora to be in Super Smash Bros, it's like every fans from the West and fans from the East are just super excited, because as we got the DLC characters, we got characters that maybe one region would favor more than the other. Banjo-Kazooie was a big hit here in the West, whereas Hero from the Dragon Quest games was super well received over in the East.
Same with Joker from Persona.
Yeah, and then here in since Sora and Kingdom Hearts games are so beloved in both the East and the West,
Worldwide, yeah.
this is like the perfect end.
He's also like he is himself like a combination character between different franchises. So
Yeah.
like he is really the perfect last character.
Like Smash Bros at its core is the biggest video game crossover in the history of the world.
I mean,
whereas
I played Fortnite.
Whereas Kingdom Hearts is a crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney.
Yeah.
It's crossover
now.
you would think that no one would work, and it does. And
Yeah.
it does so spectacularly. And it just makes me smile that I see the picture of Sora shaking hands with Mario and the Smash logos in the back.
When's
and I'm
it
like,
coming?
this is real.
When's it coming?
This is October 18th.
Mario and
Oh,
Kingdom Hearts
word!
4.
That's so quick. Mario and Kingdom.
Yeah.
Hearts.
It just makes me happy that this is real.
It's Chris Pratt though.
Or but yeah, I'm living for all the art, for the new fan art that people are drawing with Sora and his invitation, and Sora, like someone did like the Winnie the Pooh art, but with like Kirby and Yoshi.
Yeah.
I just love all the fan art.
Now
that's
that
coming
it's out, we have not played, even though it's your Switch, we haven't played Smash really since it came
No,
out.
not for a while.
No.
So like I'm super jonesing when he comes out. Like have that roster of almost 90 characters and like get back into it, man. Yeah.
I cannot wait for Sora to be in Kingdom Hearts. Or Sora to be in Smash Bros. That's like the third time I've done this already.
Yeah,
but
he can't be Kingdom
I'm
Hearts.
super happy and I'm just super excited. He's definitely gonna be my new main. That's for damn sure.
Clocked it.
We got some exciting news.
Now Sonic belongs to me.
Yeah,
Go
what
ahead.
happened to Sonic, bro? What a betrayal. Top 10 anime betrayals.
I'm not gonna-
He put on a Sonic hat.
I'm not gonna go into how. No, I'm
Just
not gonna go
kidding,
into
Ben.
that.
It's okay.
Joking.
We got some exciting news actually.
More exciting news?
We got some. Actually, this is. I think so. Marauders is getting a new creative team.
Oh yeah,
This is exciting.
The new the X-Men book is getting a new team going into the next whatever phase they're going to call the X-Men. The new creative team is coming on board on the annual #1 in January, and it is Steve Orlando and Chris Lee. They're going to take
Woo!
over from there.
Great. Fantastic. I mean, everyone knew like something big's happening and like the whole line's getting relaunched. We kind of figured Marauders would stay around. Kind of hoping Jerry Duggan's doing great stuff on X-Men. I'm really liking his X-Men. Kind of hoping somebody would take over Marauders. Good news, everyone. Steve Orlando.
Someone's taking over Marauders.
This is his first ongoing at Marvel. He's very excited.
Man, he's been doing so many like one shots. Like he did like the man thing stuff
Mhm.
last year. He had like 5 different one shots.
Mhm.
I'm so glad he's in the X universe. It's so good.
The annual, at least, will have the Marauders go up against the X-Men 2099 villain, Brimstone Love.
It's wild. That's such a cool obscure. I love it. Oh, and also like Dawkin and Conan is joining the Marauders. So that's fantastic.
Initially the announcement of the annual was a little vague in saying that they are just writing the announcement, but he quickly cleared it up and is saying, I am the new ongoing writer of this book.
I was very
Okay.
much like, Steve, no, stay.
So when you say relaunch, does that mean Marauders is going back to number 1?
Yeah.
Or,
So
okay.
that is actually unclear because they are launching it with an annual. Whether or
Mm.
not it is going to continue its numbering or be relaunched as number
Oh,
1 is
that's a good
is
point.
confusing.
Because like New Mutants and like Wolverine and stuff, they're staying with their numbers. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
be shocked if just like this is like the new creative team start here and then continue the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense actually. Yeah.
That's not been explicitly stated, but it does look like it's going to keep its numbering.
Yeah.
But could be wrong. We'll see when the solicitation
Either
for
way,
this issue
we
will
will
be
find
figured
out.
I'm glad to be sticking with Marauders then.
And I'm going to do this one next because it is probably the most shocking news. I had just given up hope,
Oh yeah.
but New York Comic Con announced that Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples are bringing Saga back.
I saw you tweet about it and you're like, just when I was about to give up hope, and I'm like, bro, you gave up hope like 3 months ago.
That's
You
true.
said- you said flat out, it's dead.
That's true. I did. I gave up hope, but Fiona Staples hasn't been working on anything but this. Brian K. Vaughan is just bankrolling her to do pages for Saga.
I mean,
but
it makes sense.
Saga is coming back in January 2022, almost 4 years into its 1-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Listen, I read Jonathan Hickman books. I'm used to this.
There's a
I
joke
better
in-
catch up.
Yeah, I'm behind, but like I've
There's-
been behind for 4 years, so it's not that bad.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm trying to find it, but I can't.
It's coming back with what? 55.
55. And as an apology, which he was very clear about, for the apology for taking so long, it's going to be a 44-page comic,
Double size.
the first issue, 55, and it'll be launching at $2.99.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I love it.
So reminds me of when they did the 75-cent issue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a full-page comic. Hey, retailers, I'm so sorry you have to deal with 4-year-old data
Yeah.
to figure out what to buy this. But yeah, they're not going to relaunch it. It's not going to have a subtitle. It is 55. And then he was like, I hope you guys excited for the next 54 issues. And I go, I hope they're already done.
I would assume at least a couple are.
Yeah, right. You would.
You'd think.
I mean, it took him 4 years. It's like, dude, you should be like.
It's
on-
not him, bro.
No.
I mean, it is him. Sorry, it is him.
No,
He's busy.
It is.
He's
him,
busy
like,
writing Gundam for Netflix.
Yeah.
Right. What had happened was he put Saga on hiatus, and then he got to deal with Legendary. The Why the Last Man TV show is picking up steam.
Yep.
Finally, Fiona Staples, however, has not been doing any other work than this. So
And honestly, like I don't want like that's what makes Saga special. Like it's them two.
Yeah.
Like keep it that way. Yeah.
so exciting. I'm really happy this book's coming back. I missed it.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm like-
can't wait to buy the trades again.
I'm like 4 volumes behind, but again 4 years. So
Gotta put it back on my pull list because I just took it off. Damn. After 4 years of holding it out, I was finally like, just take it
It's
off.
been
I'm
4
like-
years, dude.
I'm like 45 issues behind. so-
that's not that bad.
Dude, it went through one
You read
Olympics and
fast,
then a
though.
different Olympics. 4 years.
that's
It's
true. Well,
Wow.
Sparks, the other exciting news is Rick Riordan has
Yeah.
announced his new book or series.
It's a new. I guess it's a series. It sounds like it's a series.
Um,
He almost never does like a single story in that universe, so I'm sure it's a series.
Rick Riordan, the author of the Percy Jackson franchise.
Yeah.
He is writing a new book with Nico D'Angelo,
Yes.
which is going to pick up after the Trials of Apollo.
Yes.
In this new story, Nico and Will are determined to rescue Bob, a Titan, no
Bob.
matter what Camp Half-Blood counselors Chiron and Mr. D have to say about it.
Yes. Bob is trapped in Tartarus. He sacrificed himself in the war with the Titans.
Damn, Bob. Good job.
He's dope. Nico and Will have been slowly developing a relationship over the course of Trials of Apollo. It was revealed that they were both queer and interested in each other at the end of the Heroes of Olympus series. That's really dope. It's cool because like it's been a consistent romance. Nico's a very important character. It would not a easy allegory. He's very much in a like broody Zuko role to Percy Jackson's Aang.
Okay, so who is he in the movie?
He's not in the movie because he wasn't introduced until book 3.
Get on it, movies.
He is the son of Hades. And he's really cool. He's a great character. This is awesome because of the rest of the announcement. So go ahead and bring that part up because this is the part that makes me like Riordan has been doing some really great stuff in the sense of he wrote his main series that were about Norse mythology, which is the Magnus Chase series, his Egyptian mythology, the Kane Chronicles, and then he's done the Greek series, Percy Jackson, Greek and Roman of Heroes of Olympus, and then Trials of Apollo was kind of like a button he wanted to put on the Greek and Roman stuff. And then all these things have been stated, like it's been made clear they all exist in the world. There's been some amount of crossover, and then he left other mythologies, other world mythologies, to writers of those cultures and those heritage is to under his own umbrella, where he helps them do it, but they're writing those stories to create the mythology worlds, their own version of Percy Jackson of those mythologies. And that's been happening. There's like 5 of those and they're all over the place. And so that was a really awesome thing for him to do, but this is a great next step.
So he, for the first time, will be co-writing, and they'll have equal credit.
Yes.
He is teaming up with YA author Mark Oshiro,
Yes.
who has written Anger is a Gift, to make sure Nico's point of view would be as authentic as possible.
So Oshiro is queer and writes queer young adult novels. So this is really great. And I saw Oshiro like posting about this on Twitter, where he's like, I'm gonna give the gays everything they want. Like, he's so excited.
Awesome.
This is really great. This is a huge, like, very prominent young adult series that has been going for so long, and to have this very prominent character and other prominent character as well in this relationship now brought to the forefront in such a way, and the fact that Riordan's like, I don't want to half-ass this, is one of the reasons why I love him. He's so progressive thinking, and to the fact that he's willing to like say, I know I don't have the full scope on this.
Yeah.
I love that he's bringing Oshiro in. That's amazing. Just simply amazing. I'm so pleased, so stoked, so happy to like have something else to look forward to. I'm not all the way caught up on everything at all, especially ever since he expanded into having other people writing all these mythologies that I want to read. But this is incredible. He's doing the tour right now for The Daughter of the Deep, which is the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea novel he's doing, which is not connected to all this. But it's still like hype for that. This is such great news.
This book will be out summer 2023.
Yeah, I love
wow.
I just love that he's taking the approach he's taking to it. This is really great.
Yeah.
This is all just really funny timing, as this also came out the same week that the creator for Owl House was talking about the series being shut down because executives at Disney said this just isn't the Disney brand.
Man, now that show's like done,
mostly spotlighting on its representations of sexuality, and it's like,
now that the show's done, they are just on Twitter, just like talking. I
Yeah.
love it. I love when creators like aren't scared. It's like, this is like they.
What are they gonna do? Cancel my
What
show?
are they gonna do? Cancel my show?
Right.
Exactly.
Apparently, there's a hashtag going around called "Say the Outhouse."
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's not gonna work, but like we wanna.
Did Disney went too gay for us,
Yeah.
which really sucks. And I bring that up because
That show's so good.
Disney owns the books of the Percy Jackson series. Their name might
Hyperion.
not always be stamped right on it, might not be as obvious until that Disney Plus show comes out, but Disney does own those books, and they're like,
Yeah.
they'll let it happen one place but not the other.
It's their
whatever.
publishing line, Hyperion.
I need to go back. I need to finish DuckTales, then go back to Owl House, because I watched the first few episodes of Owl House. Freaking loved it.
Same. Yeah.
Also, DuckTales really good, but you knew that.
This is great news. Thank you for adding it. I'm very happy.
You're welcome. We talked a bit about Wayne Family Adventure.
Maybe
yeah.
I will say maybe we'll find our own way into Riordan, because I think they're almost done with the last one of the Heroes of Olympus graphic novels. So we could
Heroes
graphic
of
novel our way
Olympus.
into it, so you guys can actually
I'm into it.
dip in.
Yeah. I still got to read those books. I read the first book ages ago, and maybe after I finish Dune, I'll finally pick it back up.
Yeah.
Well, the Wayne Family Adventures we talked about, that's the webtoon series
Awesome. So
going
good.
on. It's getting a live action adaptation.
That's so fast.
Incredible.
This is so insane. I love it.
YouTuber Ismahawk,
Yep.
Ismahawk
Ismahawk.
is developing an official live action adaptation of the webtoon. It's going to be a 3-part miniseries that's launching in a couple weeks.
This is so cool. So
wild.
Ismahawk, we actually met them at a Comic-Con. And I geeked out in front of them. I was like, oh my God, I love you guys so much. They're awesome. They've been making like fan-made web stuff about like Batman and stuff for like a decade now at this point. And it's really cool when a company is like, hey, you're cool. You want to make something for us? Like, I always love that.
Sure.
And like the Wayne Family Adventure stuff, again, it is so wholesome, so fun. And the casting is so good. And it's like, again, like this Damian Wayne is actually like Middle Eastern, like Talia is like how they're supposed to be. And it's like, oh, it's radical. I love it.
Yeah,
good stuff.
There's photos online right now. You can check them out. Some of the behind the scenes photos looks pretty good. But the cast, not a lot of names I recognize, but
They're
I
all
think
like-
we should
They're all small YouTube people.
we should and say who they are. Jonathan Bentley will play Bruce Wayne. Yoshi Sudarso will play Dick Grayson. Lisa Foyles will play Barbara Gordon, Oracle. Tim Neff will play Jason Todd, Red Hood. Peter Sudarso will play Tim Drake, Red Robin. Megan Camarina will play Stephanie Brown, spoiler. Gemma Nguyen will play Cassandra Cain, Orphan. Carter Rockwood will play Damian Wayne, Robin. And Dushant Fikshun Stegel
Mhm.
will play Duke Thomas, Signal.
I love it.
And Marcus Weiss will play Alfred Pennyworth.
This is the most diverse Batman line. This is the most diverse thing Batman will ever be. Like
Sure.
most of these people are people of color.
Right.
This is truly incredible, you guys. And again, this is a low budget YouTube thing for a webtoon, but like the impact that the webcomic has already had is monumental. Millions of people have read this comic. And it's the highest read Batman comic ever.
There was an article. It's like this webtoon has been read by more people than a Batman comic. It's like good
because it's free. It's easy.
Good. People should be good. People reading comics is a good thing. No, don't care about the thing.
100%.
Good job. People reading comics. Love it.
100%. And like this will like if all of those people like watch this Batman thing, then like this like small YouTube thing will make like millions and millions of views. And like this is so good.
And it's
DC's
official, which means he's getting paid for it.
yeah, DC is just like they're really doing good shit right now. I'm really happy for it.
That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
We'll do this one next. Guys, when was Hotel Transformania supposed to come out?
I don't care.
October 1st.
October 1st. Well, it didn't. And something weird happened. It just didn't come out. And I did some digging, and I guess Sony didn't actually say when it was going to come out when they sold the movie to Amazon.
But they also didn't stop
But
any of the things that were saying October 1st.
None of the marketing was stopped. Nothing was stopped.
And Amazon seemed to have no answer on that.
And Amazon didn't know when it was supposed to come out. The thinking it was October 1st because that's what the official Twitter account has said. Since August, it's not been updated since
Sure.
August. Well, there was a big hullabaloo and people were like, what's going on? Amazon was like, we don't know. We didn't get the go ahead to release it. So now Sony is saving face. It is now coming out January 14th. And Sony's like, get ready. It's coming. We
What is-
didn't forget about it.
It's a bummer. To have a movie about those characters not come out in October is super lame.
Oh man,
Not that I was like itching at the bone to watch it, but like I do like watching those in October. Like there's still Dracula.
They're
and
fun how-
Frankenstein's monster and stuff. Like I want to give this one. I don't have a lot of faith in it because it's not Tartakovsky, but
Yeah.
like I still wanted to try.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun, family-friendly monster movies. So it's like, and not this coming out in January, not October is like,
There was
why?
There was a lot of and this is also especially weird because Sony has been having an incredible year with their animation. All their animation movies that they sold to Netflix have been really well received critically.
Sure.
It can't be financially, but like they've been having a great year, and then they sold this to Amazon and forgot about it. Maybe because they were just too
Whoops.
busy having a good year. They were like, we don't want to spoil it.
Maybe the
They were
movie's
too
just
busy
really.
celebrating Venom Let There Be Carnage.
It's also
Yeah.
maybe the movie's really bad.
They're probably partying really hard.
That's
It's
what
like,
I'm nervous about.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you told me like again, this is a franchise I don't care about, but like Adam Sandler's not in it, right?
No.
Okay, again, and Tartakovsky's not making it, right? Why does anybody even care?
Right.
Like I'm being serious. Like why would anybody care about this?
Because the first three made money.
No, I'm talking about like fans. Like
why would fans?
Why like
because like it does feel like this one is being made for like kids will watch it and
Yeah.
like families will watch it because we've already got them, and I'm like the first three like were made with something more to it than that.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Anyway, watch Mitchell's versus the Machine.
yeah.
The best Sony animated film
Since
since
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
What other ones have there been?
Well, this year they released Wish Dragon.
What's Wish Dragon?
That was a Netflix.
It's on Netflix. I've wanted to watch that one. I've
Me
heard
too.
good things.
Heard good things. I think Vivo is theirs also,
Oh yeah, I heard about Viva.
which did really well.
Okay.
Oh, did?
Heard good things there too. And then there was a fourth one that I don't recall. But like this year's been really good for them. They sold all their animated films to Netflix except for this one. And they have all been like really well received.
Not that I'm trying to get Ryan to watch the Hotel Transylvania films because I'm not. But you should know that the villain in 3 is Catherine Hahn.
No, I know.
Okay.
I remember the trailers.
Um,
They're on like a boat.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
a boat.
Yeah.
all right. we all like Shang-Chi.
We did.
We did.
We all like Jin Wen Yang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, American-Born Chinese, which is his written and illustrated graphic novel, is getting a Disney Plus adaptation from Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi.
Ooh.
Kelvin Yu from Bob's Burgers and Charles Yu from Westworld are going to write and executive produce the series, with Kelvin Yu serving as the showrunner.
It's very nice.
All right.
All right.
So this is just like an animated adaptation thing.
I don't know if it's animated.
Okay.
They didn't specify.
Right.
But this is what it's about. The Disney Plus series revolves around Jin Wang, an average teenager juggling his high school social life with his immigrant home life. When he meets a new foreign student on the first day of the school year, even more worlds collide as Jin is unwittingly entangled in a battle of Chinese mythological gods.
That's cool. Okay. That's awesome.
I've been interested in reading this book for a while because I like Jin Yang.
Yeah.
But this is really cool.
Yeah. Great.
A lot of MCU TV show news happened this week.
News or rumors?
Rumors that I have addressed because the Agatha Harkness one has been picked up by the quote unquote official news sites.
Sure.
Agatha Harkness supposedly, according to Variety, who scooped this.
I wouldn't be surprised. I just
believe-
want to get out in front of it and say, like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these rumors are true and they're building up steam because we're weeks away from Disney Plus Day,
Mhm.
where I'm sure a lot of this gets announced.
Yeah,
Yep.
potentially. Variety's reporting that a spinoff of WandaVision starring Kathryn Hahn is in the works, which is part of this part is true. She has recently signed a 3-year deal with Marvel Studios
Right.
that will involve other appearances. This one will be written by Jack Schaefer, who was the showrunner for WandaVision.
Mhm.
And that's the Agatha Harkness one.
I believe this.
Yes.
100%.
This one's one that was picked up by the legitimate news site.
She had a #1 hit on iTunes.
Yeah.
That $1 billion song got her a TV show.
But Daniel RPK's Patreon account
Oh, this guy.
has said that Disney is also working on a 10 Rings TV series for Disney Plus and a Monica Rambeau TV series for Disney Plus.
I don't know if I believe the Monica Rambeau one right now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the 10 Rings one is true.
Yeah.
And I kind of want it to be. I think that's a good opportunity and way to like focus on her and what she's doing. When they said like at the end of Shang-Chi, the 10 Rings will return, I was like, kind of hope it's not them trying to stuff what she's doing into a movie about whatever Shang-Chi is doing.
Yeah.
For a sequel.
I
So
can
the
make
fact
her-
that we could
yeah.
split that up because of Disney Plus stuff, like a 6-episode series about her doing stuff with the 10 Rings, I'm here
It
for
can also go like into the backstory and mythology, maybe even get Tony Leung back in a cameo as Mandarin.
Right.
Because I want him back more than anything else in
Sure,
this
sure.
universe.
Now, this just to add fuel to this fire, Destin Daniel Cretton also has recently signed a Disney Plus deal,
Right.
to bring program to Disney Plus.
I think that the 10 Rings one is honestly one of the ones that I'm most attracted by. Because I think that is the best way to like actually devote time to focusing on her story without shoehorning her onto a Shang-Chi film.
Yes.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Monica Rambeau one is true, but I think that might be in a couple years after the second Captain Marvel movie.
Oh yeah.
Right.
for
So I think this might be like we heard it's in talks now.
sure. Right.
Yeah. So
There's
I wouldn't be shocked if all this is true, just not now.
There's a lot to be said with the fact that a lot of these scoops, especially these Patreon people, they hear their news from the assistant of the assistant.
Mhm.
It's like I heard them talking about this and the thing, and they run with that. So there is like I'm sure a Monica Rambeau show is being
Right.
levied about.
Yeah.
I honestly think that like Chapek, whoever is talking to Kevin Feige, what more can you put on Disney Plus? And they're just kind of spinning their wheels, thinking like what would fit, what we want to do on Disney Plus, what we want to do in movies. I wouldn't be surprised if like every character that we've ever been introduced to has crossed the Disney Plus desk,
Mhm.
and at some time.
Yeah. They're always talking about the next step. Yeah.
That could be where the Monica Rambeau one comes from, but you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
These there are crazier, worse rumors I've heard than these ones.
That's
Yeah,
true.
This is spilling off of the rumors about around Echo and Wilson Fisk appearing in Hawkeye,
God.
Daredevil season.
Also
4.
from Daniel RPK.
Uh-huh.
This is the same guy who said we were
So-
getting a Spider-Man trailer for like 3 months.
So I'm like, I could see a trailer dropping for Hawkeye on Disney Plus Day, and if they reveal Fisk in that trailer, I'll flip.
I will lose my goddamn
I'll
mind, you
flip the
guys.
table.
That season
So that they
3
could be like in the because that's when they'd want to say stuff about the Echo series.
Yeah.
At least casting announcements, and if they were like, and he'll carry over into
I
the Echo series, I'd be like,
100
yo.
a Spider-Man Daredevil aside, I 100% the Echo Daredevil King. I believe that stuff 100%.
Yeah.
It's too good. It's too good. Echo is such a Daredevil character. It's so weird that she would be in a Hawkeye show. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Disney Plus Day is fast approaching.
That's
It
so
is.
cool.
So we'll see.
Investors, get ready, baby.
Hellraiser,
Oh,
Goofy's here
gosh.
apparently.
Pain.
Smash can't afford him, but we can.
They have announced their the Hellraiser TV series for Hulu, I believe, has announced their new Pinhead. Jamie Clayton from Sense8 has been cast as Pinhead.
Woo, woo, woo.
Very cool.
Dude, I forgot that this was happening, and always like when casting things happen, like, oh right, that show's done. That's great. That thing's happened. I'm so excited. I love Hellraiser. There was a lot of really bad sequels, but like they still have cool merit.
One of them has Henry Cavill.
It's true. A lady playing Pinhead, people stop getting mad. Pinhead's a John Jonas in the comics. Like, it's
Right.
not a big deal. Stop crying about things you've never read.
People stop getting mad is a good.
It's just a good thing. Yeah.
We'll put that up top of the screen. Just people stop getting.
Well,
Look at that.
like I saw a lot of people like being like, how can you not have it be just like
The thing
Pinhead
we've already
as
seen.
as they were in Hellraiser? Like, how is it not the same person or anything like that? And I'm like, what?
Have you ever seen Batman?
it's
What are you
not like-
talking about?
It's
People
not
get
like,
casted all the
well,
time.
and I'm like, it's not like Pinhead is Robert Englund is Freddy. Like,
Yeah.
like Pinhead's cool, but like we don't have to be married.
Okay, to be
one
fair to that
idea.
actor, he is iconic, but like he
For
is
sure.
he is not a Freddy Krueger.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's
Yes.
like like
Because we tried to do that and
Like-
it didn't work.
Like
Yeah.
with Pinhead, even for me as someone who isn't into these old horror films or these older horror franchises, it's like I see Freddy Krueger, I was like, I know exactly who that is. I see Jason Voorhees, I know exactly who that is. I see Pinhead, I'm like, yeah, that's Pinhead from Pinhead, right? And they're like, no, it's Hellraiser. I'm like, what the hell is Hellraiser?
Those
that's
movies.
more indicative of just you
Yes. Hellraiser.
than it is of
Hellraiser
like
is a
horror.
little more risque, a little darker, a little more sexual, sensual, psychosis stuff than your slasher movies. So it doesn't have as big as a fan base because it's too genre.
Were you sitting over there going, ooh?
Yeah, because you were saying sensual.
Brandon, the whole thing about the Cenobites is like pleasure and pain are the same
I'm
thing.
aware. I've seen
Yeah.
the first Hellraiser.
Okay.
Love it.
I've only seen the first one though. I haven't seen the sequels.
That's just fine.
The second one's really good.
I'm not knocking like any of the sequels. I'm just saying like at least you've seen the first.
Yeah. It was a long time ago when I used to be like, Halloween is time for horror movies. So I
I
just
bet
put
you
on
don't
horror
remember
movies.
any of it.
Potentially, but I remember enough. But I would like to watch it again.
I believe you.
All right. The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes.
We all like
Nom, nom,
Mike.
nom.
We always like Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
You bet.
Well, coming off of Midnight Mass, the success of Midnight Mass, he is developing a new horror series for Netflix called The Fall of the House of Usher, which is going to be based on the 1839 Edgar Allan Poe short story.
This is the new House series,
The-
Haunting series.
new-
Okay, so hold up. When you said Fall of the House of Usher, I'm like, what did Usher do?
I was wondering if someone was
Usher-
going to talk.
I was
gonna
like,
bring that
hold up. Usher's still he's still in our good graces, right? What did he do now?
No, these are my confessions.
up. So Mike Flanagan is going to do this after he does the next horror series he's doing for Netflix called Midnight Club, which he started after Midnight Mass.
Nice.
Man,
Um,
that dude.
He's a
working.
Netflix horror machine. I love it.
Yeah, and he's still adamant that none of these are season 3 of House of whatever, Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill.
But if we get a story, we'll come back to it. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Do you, man. You're making some gold.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to start Midnight Mass.
Megan just messaged me to put a correction in where she said she read that it's not just the House of Usher, even though that's the title. It's going to be pulling from all of Poe's work.
Oh,
in
very
different
cool.
ways.
Nice. The Pendulum, the Raven.
Very cool. I didn't know that. Thank you, Megan. All right. Trailers.
Excellent.
T Talk.
Trailer Park time.
Scooby Doo and Guess Who? Is this show already going?
Yes. So
Okay, I
the
didn't
thing
know
was
that.
this was a Boomerang exclusive.
Mhm.
It's now come to HBO Max as of October,
Oh,
which
I
is great. But it was a Boomerang exclusive for a while, so you had to have like either cable channel access to watch it or the subscription purchase of Boomerang,
Mhm.
either through your provider or it itself. Now it's available on HBO Max, which is great.
Right. So this is
the new interpretation of like the All-Star Scooby-Doo series where he used to like team up with Batman and the Harlem Globetrotters. This is the celebrity series.
Don Knotts.
Now there are new episodes coming. Yes, exactly. And that's what this is. And I've heard good things about like the quality of this series. So I'm happy to see it's there.
I just remember Fred's going, "Hang on, Cher,"
Yeah.
on the surfboard.
Yeah. Look, like Scooby-Doo's got some hits and misses, but like usually its celebrity stuff is pretty entertaining, even if it's not like quality.
Jason
Like,
Sudeikis.
We got the Kiss film crossover is pretty solid, and the WrestleMania one with John Cena.
Hey, brother.
I'm just saying, like, they do some wacky stuff, but like it usually lands.
Scooby-Doo, the old All-Star Scooby-Doo All-Stars, I don't remember
Yes.
this.
Harlem Globetrotters.
It was always so much fun because like you never know if they were going to team up with a real character
Or Batman.
with like a real actor, or
Right.
the Addams Family,
Right.
Mhm.
or Batman.
Right. Sometimes it's the Addams Family,
Sonny and
which is
Cher.
one of the few episodes that they haven't been able to get the rights back to put on
Yes.
the, like, that's why there's a collection that finally came out on Blu-ray of them, and they're missing 2 episodes. One of them is the Addams Family one because they just cannot get the rights back for the Addams Family episode. So it's like the almost complete collection. But yeah, they've got like they meet up with all of Laurel and Hardy. They meet up with Abbott and Costello, Don Knotts, Batman, like it, all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like the Guess Who Scooby-Doo is carrying on
Very
very
much.
much in the same vein.
Very
same
much.
vein.
I'm pretty sure Batman is also one of the Guess Who
I'd be
Guests.
surprised if he wasn't
with Kevin Conroy. I'm pretty sure that happened.
because in the comics, it's well established that they're friends with
Yeah.
Batman.
They're
it
both
would be
detectives.
the second time they did it because Batman Brave and the Bold
Did they do
did a
Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo crossover thing.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Sounds right.
With Batmite, I think.
Oh,
Batmite
that sounds
did
right.
like 3
Yeah.
vignettes, and
Yeah.
one of the vignettes
Oh.
brought in Scooby-Doo.
That makes sense. I've also been reading the comics that they
Yeah.
team up with Batman a lot.
Hey, I'm a fan of like just really goofy, good, enjoyable Scooby-Doo. And
Me too.
Scooby-Doo and Guess Who clearly has like its heart in the right place.
Oh yeah.
House of Dragons.
Brandon, what do you think about this?
Ben is more hype than anybody else at this table.
I like the Targaryens. I liked what I saw. I like the new design for the throne. It's not like it's closer to the design that we saw that George R. R. Martin says, like, hey, this is like the actual 1,000 swords melted by Rhaegar Targaryen's dragon. I'm hoping that's good, but at the same time, it's like I like the history of the Targaryens, so
Yeah.
I'm into this.
I had to watch the trailer. I would have watched it anyway, but like when I saw Joe Starr's tweet first, which was, "This looks like weird Witcher cosplay," I was like, "Is this not weird Witcher cosplay?" So I had to watch the trailer. I was like,
Sure.
"Oh, it's not okay. I see."
Yeah.
I think it would be really funny if Brandon gets drawn in enough. He decides to watch this one.
Matt
This
Smith.
is how he gets the Game of Thrones.
I mean, it is the prequel,
This is his
so, you
path.
know,
like
yeah.
it could be. It could be your path.
Hey, just like the prequels, like hopefully this show.
I'm hoping for the best. I have not gotten the bad taste out of my mouth of Game of Thrones.
I'm over it. Yeah,
Like
I'm over it.
I'm like, all right. I mean, but you gotta like, if I start this show and it's just like middling, I'm not
absolutely.
putting the time.
I'm gonna
into
give it one
That's where
episode.
it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it one episode. I remember when Game of Thrones. I'm not thinking of the bad. I'm thinking of the good, and
Right.
like it's the best television's ever been.
Right.
So like, if it can even get to there, but I'm gonna give it one episode.
Right.
Well, that's all you get. That's all you get, Matt Smith.
Yeah. The After Party. This is Lord Miller's
Yeah,
TV show?
This looks
Yeah.
great. I'm so hyped. for
murder
this.
mystery comedy TV
Yeah,
show.
I want to watch it.
Me too.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like a show. That makes me 100% more excited for it. Yeah, Lord of Miller, you're like the funniest people in Hollywood.
Damn you,
Yeah.
Apple TV.
I love
Yeah.
murder mysteries just in general. So
Mhm.
like, hell yeah.
This-
Yeah.
Lord Miller.
There's been like billion-dollar sci-fi shows on Apple that I won't watch, but like this comedy, this is the thing that I'm gonna watch.
Well, now
on
that you
Apple
do
TV.
it, then you'll spill into Foundation.
Oh,
and all
100%.
that
I
stuff.
needed the actual in, and like Lord of Miller is my end.
So haven't told you. I told these guys when we were watching the trailer for it, but I actually know one of the producers on the show. Yeah, I went to high school with her.
Wow.
She's made it.
Yeah, because she was posting on her Instagram that she's a producer of the show, and I think she posted like a Vanity article with her name in it, and I'm like, good for you.
That's very cool.
So good for her. She has made it. Yeah, because she.
So reach out. Get her on the show.
Nah.
No, that's very cool though.
Ryan's like, no, don't, never.
That's very cool though. I think this looks really funny.
Mhm.
Tiffany Haddish looks like she's the quote unquote detective.
Yep.
She could be real detective. I don't know.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too.
Game night vibes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy, speaking of game night though. All right. Blade Runner, Black Lotus.
I love the vibe for sure.
Yeah.
They've got that atmosphere of the world down pat.
I absolutely, as a massive Blade Runner fan, I'm so glad this wasn't an action trailer because Blade Runner is not about action.
Yeah, it was setting a
It was a
tone.
mood piece.
Yeah.
Just sweet jazz.
Yes.
Just like Japanese waxing poetics. Like, what does it mean? Am I human?
It-
you know,
I
this
think
is sad.
I think this is one of those times where it's really benefiting from the fact that it's for Adult Swim first,
100%.
and they know the Adult Swim audience. And they're like, we know if we can get you with chill.
Yeah.
We know we can get you with that lo-fi bang.
Lo-fi, 100%. Blade Runner
We
lo-fi.
know it.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sold on the animation, but like it certainly looks better than like the Netflix flair that we normally get. So like I am super excited for this.
Yeah.
Super excited for this.
I am sold on the animation of the world.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm not sold.
people-
I'm not
yeah.
completely there on the animation of the characters.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the only hurdle that I have in the show is the facial animation on the people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm very excited.
I think if I adjust, I'll be okay.
Yeah. Same. That's coming out in November.
Yeah.
yeah.
Lock and Key season 2 had a full trailer.
Boy, I need to rewatch that whole first season.
Yeah.
That was like 5 years ago.
That
It
was
feels
quite a
like
while
So
ago.
it felt
It
like
wasn't
it was
actually.
2 years ago.
It wasn't even
and
2 years
then
ago.
Ryan looked at when we did Lock and Key or when Lock and Key came out, and we're like, holy
It was
shit.
February of last year.
And it feels like it's been gone
It's
for
been
2
literally
years.
less than 2 years.
But it feels like that, and then it's because it
Well,
came
but
out
to
right
be fair,
before the
to be fair, it was the second season couldn't be worked on because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it also feels like that because it came out right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to keep reminding myself that I was doing stuff before the pandemic.
The pandemic does feel like 10 years ago.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, this trailer looks great. I definitely want to watch it. I'm super excited about it. I need to remember what
I
is happening and
remember
who everybody is.
There was a spooky cave at the end. That's about it.
It's like
With
a
the
spooky
crown.
cave, and they're
The thing's coming out of the whole of the thing.
The Omega Key, right? Yeah. Now I'm also
Yeah.
starting to remember a lot of it.
The
It's starting to come
pieces,
back.
the pieces are coalescing.
like if you get hit with this one thing, they're like the darkness or
yeah,
something.
they got
it-
hit and that they got possessed.
Like that one girl got
Yeah.
possessed at the very end. So her and this other guy, who's now dating the daughter.
One key
I-
makes
I
you into a
can't-
ghost boy.
Yeah. I
One
can't-
key turns you into a little boy.
and the other key, like you can go inside your
the
head.
key changes your appearance.
Right, because in the comics it's the gender key, but in the
Yes.
in the movie it's more
Polyjuice.
like
You just
Polyjuice
become
portion.
other people.
and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people. Yeah,
Yeah, the quality looks good. Like I'm excited.
Oh yeah, solid.
yeah. I'm really excited. I really love that first season. so
I
can't wait
have
to
no
watch this.
problem with rewatching the first season.
No,
again
not at
myself,
all.
Even if I do it just kind of passively, just to get back in the groove.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, aloha.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
When he flips him off, he's like, because Sean Ashmore's like, "Screw you, Key House," and then he
Memories.
goes, "He's like, what's that mean?" It's like aloha in Hawaii. And then
Wait.
he
Is it Sean or is it the other one?
I don't know. They're twins. They
No,
look
it's-
the same.
Is it?
It's not Sean.
Aaron, wait, what's the other?
Which one was on the boys?
Not. Oh, fuck. I don't, actually, I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry.
Iceman?
Because one was on the boys and one was on Lock and Key.
Let's move on. He'll look it up.
Yeah, because
Uh,
one was Iceman, the other was on Smallville.
No, but like specifically the
Aaron Paul? No,
the
not
two
Aaron
of the like the two-
Aaron Ashmore is on Lock and Key.
Okay.
Paul. Aaron
Oh.
Ashmore.
and Sean Ashmore is on the boys.
yes. I'm gonna say yes.
We'll
we
see.
can't. We can't pause the show. We gotta keep going.
I am like, is he?
because like they were going at the same time, and I remember like the watching the two, and
Sean Ashmore is on The Boys.
Oh.
Good job,
we
Iceman.
did it.
All right, so Sean Ashmore is Iceman. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
All right. Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin. This is a more full, comprehensive trailer.
I wish this wasn't only on Paramount Plus because I'm actually very interested in it.
Yeah.
I want to see this in a theater.
Out of
Two-headed goat.
all
yeah,
the
this
Oh.
looks pretty solid.
I've never seen any of the Paranormal Activity movies because the first one, of course, is like, oh man, this might be terrifying. But as we got a new one practically every single freaking year,
That's how it works.
it was just like I was
Yeah.
like, okay, whatever. It's just
Love
the
that
same
third
shit.
one.
It's just the same shit. For some reason, this one, I'm like,
You're just
I-
going, it's the same shit, but you never watch them.
shut up.
You can't just.
You can't
Yeah,
say that.
yeah, that's what other people have said.
I really want to see this one.
Good,
Okay.
good.
I really want to see this one because it looks so creepy and scary. It's like I'm kind of into like your family members, like your biological family members in this creepy cult, and that's why your mom.
They're
Yeah.
fake
I want
Amish.
to put Ben through the Paranormal Activity films.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
I think you're gonna have a good time by the time you get to 4.
No, I want
Am
to get.
I?
I want to get him to the spin-off one with the
5?
ending. Yeah,
Sorry,
5.
5.
Sparks brought it up when we were watching it, but like now that like cameras are just so nice and advanced, it's like you can just make this look like a nice movie, but still being like the documentary style.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still being
it's
a found
great.
footage film, but like you can have a camera that portable that looks that good
Or
because
different.
that's that's real.
It's the future. Yeah.
I mean, hey-
It's funny because that exact thing came up in Scream, the MTV show we were watching, and I'm like, that she could be carrying around a camera because there's this bit they're doing where she's filming stuff, and I'm like, she could be carrying around a camera that filmed better than this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to look that grainy anymore.
I mean, hey, iPhone can't people shoot stuff on iPhone
That's the
cameras
point.
to
That's
prove a point?
the point is that it looks that good. It looks
Mhm.
like you could put
yeah,
that
that's
on
what.
TV good.
That's why when we
Mhm.
first saw the first look at this, I thought there was only going to be half found footage, but the whole thing is found footage. It just looked really nice.
Not the whole thing, unless they're like, because there's definitely like atmosphere shots that are either like they're capturing
Oh,
it from
you're right.
somewhere or it's a drone.
I think they're doing like the
it
District
could be
9
a
thing.
it could be a drone,
Or it's
but
like a
like I
mix.
think it's a District 9 thing.
It's
Yeah,
like a
I think
mix,
it's a
yeah.
mix.
I mean, it is very unsettling when you see the grandma and she's peeling her own hand with a paint.
Yeah.
potato.
Hell yeah.
It's like, yikes, this is a bad time.
Skin soup.
And then when the kid starts,
We're gonna
saying,
put Ben through all the paranormal activity.
no,
Check it out.
I
It's
veto
happening.
this.
You
I
can't
veto
veto.
this.
No,
Yes,
no,
I
no,
can.
It'll
no,
be
no.
next year. It'll be next year.
Well,
don't
it's a democracy.
Ben, you said that you made a judgment call about it's all the same shit without watching any of it.
worry.
So we're gonna
shut up.
watch it.
It's true.
Yeah, you
all
did
of
this
it.
to yourself. You did this to yourself.
Ben, the first three are pretty good.
That
Yeah,
first
all
one,
right.
the first, yeah. I
You got nothing to complain about. We're not putting you through a shit franchise for no
All right.
reason.
You watched The Conjuring. You like those?
I did like The Conjuring, yeah.
So there you go. Okay,
So if I ever see an Annabelle doll, I'm burning it.
Resident Evil.
Don't you own a little Annabelle figure?
I meant like the
He
burned
actual
it.
doll. That
burned
if I burned that one, that's an offense to you because you gave that to me for Christmas. So
As a joke.
that's different. I know it was a joke, but you still gave it to me for Christmas.
did.
So
All right, Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City.
Which one?
yeah, which one?
Either.
Let's talk about the better one.
The
The better-
international trailer?
The international trailer is much better, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the song, or is that
No,
the...
that's
No,
the one
without
without
the
the
song.
song. The one we
Oh.
watched yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not convinced this will be a good movie.
You see a lot of the same footage. It's just how it's cut.
Yeah. I'm not convinced this will be good. But
Wait, you're not looking forward to the sci-fi film Resident Evil?
thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
exactly what I
Or
mean.
the really bad
Uh,
CGI
like-
monsters.
Like this is exactly what a Resident Evil movie should look like.
Sure.
Like for better or worse, like if you did the thing where it's not going to be the thing, then just adapt it how it's supposed to. This is the trailer. Every shot is basically from the game.
Right.
It looks like it. Like the monsters, like even like the characters look like. I'm 100% happy. I am really excited, but I'm not convinced it's going to be good.
Right.
The one of the things that I really liked about the international trailer, like the first trailer looked fine. I didn't the one that they showed at New York Comic Con, it looked fine. I wasn't too impressed, but the international one has this sequence with the truck driver
Mhm.
hitting the and I was like, that's effective.
Yeah.
Right. This
Yeah.
is a good tone piece. Why isn't this in ours?
Yeah, and I think it just looking at the two trailers, honestly, like illustrates that I'm not really sure where this movie's gonna land. And I hope that it's like I do hope it's a little campy in the way that it should be.
And
And I think it might be.
so here's the thing. I think it looks campy, but it might be the thing where they don't know they're making camp.
That's what
what
concerning
I'm
me.
scared about.
Yeah.
Like Malignant. Like you want to make a Malignant when you're making Resident Evil. You don't want to accidentally make a Malignant.
Right, like-
because then
like-
it's going to be awful.
Like for better or worse, and we'll talk about it at some point, all those films, but like
Uh-huh.
Anderson knew when he was being campy.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing when he was doing it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it doesn't work.
And
but he knew what he was doing.
I was a little worried because they're combining the first two games into one movie.
Right.
But they are doing two separate teams, two stories kind of interacting with one, and they'll probably
Right.
merge the
I
two.
saw that
So
too.
I'm okay with that because like again, like those stories aren't super in depth. They were PlayStation 1 games, right? All the characters are there that you'd want. The action's there. It's rated R.
Do you feel like that one shot where like it's the main shot that shows like the inside of the mansion for the first time? Like it's scaled weird, isn't it?
it looks smaller.
Yeah.
Right?
It looks weird.
Pretty
It's
tiny
not-
mansion.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I haven't played through much of the first Resident Evil, but I did get to the part where you get inside the mansion. The mansion
That's the,
looks
it's
huge.
the beginning. Yeah,
And
it,
then, it's the beginning. But then in this one, I'm like, why does this look tiny?
it definitely the foyer part doesn't have the scale that you'd want. But I'm hoping the mansion's still big. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
It's- yeah.
I'm not
It's definitely when they walk in, it's definitely like there's like so much room that's not here.
It like throws me off. Like there's a weird scaling thing that it almost looks like the background is altered
Mhm,
Yeah.
in front of them, and I'm like, I know that's probably not the case. I don't think they're in front of some green screen, but it looks weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, is this the Netflix one or not the Netflix one?
This is
not
not
the
the
This is
Netflix
not the
one.
Got it.
Netflix one.
Okay,
This is only in cinemas.
got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
But I will not lie. I kind of like the way they shot the. I know it's the same shot from the game, but I do like the scene where you see the zombie for the first time, and it just
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
looks over.
Absolutely.
It's like, hey, that's awesome.
Again, like-
the rest of the monsters, you can tell they're like bad CGI.
Yeah, and this movie's coming out soon, so like the CGI is basically done. Again, this is definitely low budget.
will-
Like I'm not super
Yeah.
mad at it.
But that's
Yeah.
did want to comment on that because like the one monster that they show pretty prominently that
a
I think
big
we
ass
all know is, like,
biohazard.
is all like CGI from like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Shocks me just a little bit because I'm like, these films made Sony a lot of money.
That's
the
I'm
big
surprised they're not
franchise.
putting a bit more money into the budget of the effects for it. If they want this to be, they want this to do well. They want this to be the relaunch of
A big
more
franchise.
Resident Evil films that are more faithful, but get people to come to the theaters and see them. And I'm like, I don't know that you put the whole faith of the budget in this. I'm
Yeah.
hoping the film
I agree.
makes up
Yeah.
for it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the most not atrocious, but the one you can tell is like that's not really good CGI is the one with like the white
Uh-huh.
face.
Yep.
Yeah, the big
that's-
biohazard
that's
tyrant.
the one-
Yeah.
So that one, I mean, the one with the brain and the teeth looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Or
the
it looks,
liquor.
Sure.
looks
Yeah,
fine.
I think it looks fine.
But that one's the biohazard's like yikes.
I was also surprised, and much in the same way, Sparks, because I watched the first trailer. And I was like, oh, this has a smaller budget than I thought. I thought maybe you'd want to put like a studio behind this.
Maybe
Yeah.
I guess maybe they wanted the first one to be like small enough just in case it wasn't a hit.
Potentially.
I guess that's why they're doing 2 games in one. I guess. Yeah.
But that's the thing is like you've made profits off 6 films
Yeah.
of Resident Evil, and so it's like if you're coming at it, like come at it.
For real.
If you, especially for the initial one, if you want to get people to buy in for however many more you want to make them buy in, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're putting that kind of faith into it. I'm hoping the movie will.
The final
anyway.
thing, the CGI budget might not be there, but like I definitely like the people behind this love the game. I could tell, like
Right.
having Itchy Tasty be like even in the trailer just shows like that is like a really small like detail that's in the first Resident Evil. That's like a cult icon thing of somebody wrote Itchy Tasty before they died because they're becoming a zombie. And that's in the trailer. I'm like, cool, they get it. Let's hope it matches the thing they're trying to make.
Right.
It's very possible it is the same screenwriter for Mortal Kombat.
Ooh,
That's
it's gonna
true.
get soul sucked. Yes.
True.
Just hope. Okay.
Dragon Ball Superhero.
Had
Little
a
tease,
sneak
baby.
peek, more or less.
It was more than what we got last time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now we know the Red Ribbon Army's involved.
Hell yeah.
And we know Broly's involved.
We know
because
Broly's there.
eagle-eyed people caught a clip of Broly clearly coming down to the ground in front of Goku in one
Blink
of
and
those
you
shots.
miss it.
Now that I knew where it was, I looked and I'm like, oh yeah, you see him. He's
Mhm,
there.
mhm.
So Broly's in this movie, which is excellent news. This is years ahead,
Yeah.
which we already kind of suspected because of Pan.
Mhm.
So what's happening in the manga now is still filling in that time gap. I suspect that's going to be the case for a while, and then they'll make anime adaptations of what's going on with the manga
Mhm,
eventually.
Yeah,
some
there's-
anime series or
There
something.
is a sense that people have speculated that perhaps the reason why they've gone into a more CG animation is because the main animation team is working on the super anime.
Some I know that they were saying like they wanted to just try something new too, and
Mhm.
and the animation sometimes looks really nice to me. It's 3D over the 2D designs that Toriyama makes, and sometimes it looks really good, and sometimes it looks like a video game, and like a good video
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
but it looks like a video game, and I'm like, I don't want to watch a video game cutscenes. I do lament that like it doesn't look the way Broly did, and
Yeah.
Broly was gorgeous. And I'm like, I wish you were just making Broly again. You clearly wanted to try something new. Okay,
Kind of in the
I
way.
think Broly looked better
Yeah.
at this moment.
in the way they're different like animation styles, but like in the same way, what if like the animation itself
Yeah.
is good, but when they're standing still, it looks better in motion.
Right. You see,
Yeah.
like the action sequences obviously look fine, look good. Honestly, the ones
Yeah.
that we see, but there's like bits where we see like the Red Ribbon Army, and it's like, the arm is like moving, and it's like, okay, well, you're clearly on rails.
Yeah.
Right.
That's I will say that is a little bit of a bummer, but like I'm sure the quality behind it's still going to be there.
Yeah. I have faith in Toriyama that it's still going to be a great outing. I'm very curious what this means for like what the manga story is doing, like how they're doing things with Goku and Vegeta right now, how much they know where Toriyama's going and planning for, and how much those things are in conversation with each other. So we'll see. But this is exciting. I hypothesized to Ryan and Ben that this is very much going to be like Piccolo, Gohan, and Pan facing these new characters, and Goku is probably training with Broly somewhere else. And we might get more of them involved in the movie at some point, but I suspect that's actually going to be a large part of the plot.
I
That we are
super
putting a
hope
focus on them.
It's not they can't handle it, and Goku has to come save him at the end.
Yeah, I hope so
I
too.
hope so.
We got confirmation that Vegeta and Whis will also be back in this movie, though we didn't see them, but they will be in it. I'm curious what they're doing with that one shot where like they've got the sliding thing and it shows Goku, then Vegeta, then Majin Buu. I don't know what that's about at all.
It's
So
like
I'm
a TV
super
screen
intrigued
or
by that.
something, yeah.
And now that we know it's the Red Ribbon Army, there's reason to suspect that these guys are androids 1 and 2.
Yep, you got a little 2 on them. Love it.
We're back to
Which I don't have a problem with, especially if this is like him wanting to flesh out what the red. So like, because the whole thing was Dr. Gero was not the Red Ribbon Army. Like the Red Ribbon Army was his own thing that Dr. Gero worked inside of, and then he took that in its own direction with the androids and all that because he was the main scientist behind it. But if we're going back to like the roots of the Red Ribbon Army, like that wasn't taken
The
care of.
original androids.
And they had these original android designs from Gero from back when.
I bet we see Jiro in a flashback or something in this.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for this.
It'd
I
be
think
cool
that-
if Toriyama finally brought like his backstory that was never like in like it was all his lore building in the background. But like the fact that 16 is Jiro's son and Jiro has a vendetta against Goku because Goku's attack is what led to 16 becoming an android because he was injured in Goku's Kamehameha attack. So like that's where the vendetta comes from. But like it's never explained in the story itself. If that came to the forefront of this in some way, like where that happened, like that'd be great.
Yeah. Look, I'm excited for more Dragon Ball. Just
Oh
in
hell
general.
yeah!
The Red Ribbon Army are fun. I'm not tired of them honestly yet. They've popped up sporadically throughout Dragon Ball's history. So
they're like well used Hydra.
yeah, that's totally it. So yeah, bring it on.
I think Pan looks great.
Me too. I'm really excited.
I'm very intrigued. I'm all in. So happy Broly's in it.
Bro,
Can't say it enough. Like Broly being back is great.
All right, let's get into our main topic then.
Oh, do we have time for it?
No. All right. It's time now. It is time now to die. Full spoilers for Daniel Craig's 25th outing. No, 25th film.
Boy, that would be impressive.
Right? Daniel
James
Craig's,
Bond's
That's
25th.
the MCU.
James Bond's 25th film. Daniel Craig's 5th film.
Yes.
As the character. Full spoilers for No Time to Die.
And all the Craig films.
And really all the Craig films, if you haven't, although we've been spoiling them throughout the couple weeks we've been watching them.
But I mean, just in case.
Yeah.
If you jumped here, we're talking about all of them.
So if you haven't,
because you have to.
So if you haven't seen it yet,
you're stuck.
Sorry for the live watchers.
This is our show literally every
See you
week.
later.
You should, yeah.
All right. So what do we think about No Time to Die?
Brandon, you go.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
All right. Right on.
Ben?
I had a good time.
Brian?
I think people, as you would say, Brandon, in the fandom would really like this movie. I think it's fine.
Sparks?
I think this is Daniel Craig's best performance in a film that doesn't serve his performance as well as it should.
Yeah, 100%.
I also think this is Daniel Craig's best performance. He's clearly having a good time.
It's cool that he finally loosened up in his last movie.
Well, I think it helps that like this story strips James Bond of a lot of James Bondisms, and particularly these shitty ones. They're not here.
Yeah.
A lot of his misogyny is gone. That helped.
There is a sense that I get of I think working on other films and especially like, obviously Spectre, he did not have a good time working on Spectre.
He said he wanted to cut his wrist before he'd work on another James Bond.
Right.
Again.
So he's been very clear. So going into No Time to Die, I think he was really committed to having done Knives Out, maybe having really loosened up a bit in the years. Coming into this film, trying to make sure that we're getting this right, we're having a good time, and I think that shows in his performance a lot. And I actually really enjoyed that.
I do too. I think there's a headline that Megan shared with me. I forget where it was from, but that said Daniel Craig outshines No Time to Die as a film, and I'm like, that's true.
Yeah.
Like even if I enjoy things in this movie, like he is the thing. Like and more so than any of them, honestly. Like this is him at his best.
I agree.
I wish I could have had this guy for 5 movies. This version of Bond, because like it works. It works very, very well.
Yeah.
And he's the thing that when the movie drags, he's the thing keeping me going. And that landed. That did land.
Now I did say I loved it. That's because I think the emotional core of the film is solid, and for me, as a longtime James Bond fan, it does hit those emotional chords for me. However, I do have some issues with it, and one of the biggest ones is I don't like Rami Malek's Safin.
Who does?
You mean the villain of the whole movie who's not in the whole movie at all?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
I do not.
Lucifer Saffron?
Lucifer Satan?
Lucifer Safin.
Bro, I'm fine with it when it's Samuel Hayden, S. Hayden, Satan, to be Satan in Doom. This, you're not even trying. You're not even trying.
This reminds me of Villain from Expendables.
Yeah, and that's a joke on
Well, at
purpose.
least that was supposed to be.
That's
yeah.
Right,
that's the point.
thing. This reminds me of that joke.
Bro, either be Lucifer or be Satan. You can't be both. Are you kidding me? That's maybe too James Bond.
Yeah,
That's almost maybe too. That's like
It's too the cheesy stuff in a movie that doesn't want to acknowledge the
100%,
cheesy
yes.
stuff.
Daniel Craig's films have been very clear trying to get away from the Roger Moore Bond, but this is very much like, hey, remember Roger Moore?
So
I definitely want to beat this horse real
Beat it
hard,
harder.
but and then we can talk about other aspects of the movie. Yeah, he's a nothing presence in the
Yes.
movie. His whole thing makes no sense. He's in love with Madeline, I guess.
is he?
That's what he says.
I honestly,
don't-
his motivations, his whole thing, like I guys, I'm at a loss for this movie.
Why
for a
did
lot of parts.
he? Why did he come after them now? Like, where? What is he? It's like the story didn't think about anything beyond like he did this. Somehow not aging. He did this when she
So-
was young, and then he did nothing
So Brandon,
until
I think
now.
my biggest problem with the movie, this movie's almost 3 hours long.
Yes.
It's still not long enough to service anything in the movie for me.
Yeah.
Like the villain, like he gets set up at the beginning, like, cool, I know what this guy's about. He doesn't show up for an hour, right? Like there's the middle of this movie, dude. I cannot tell you what happened in the middle of this movie. I remember I love the first 30 minutes of this movie, and then it drags so hard. The best character in the movie is in it for 5 minutes and then leaves, and then I don't care anymore.
I understand that criticism. I
Yeah.
will never even push back on
Yeah.
it. I have a hard time. I had a really hard time in the beginning of this movie.
About yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Uh,
love the beginning.
So the sniper barrel sequence happens. Bond shoots the screen, no blood, whatever. And then it goes into Madeline's origin story.
Mhm.
I was bored out of my wits.
Oh wow,
I did
That's
not
crazy.
care for anything that was happening on the screen
I kind of liked that part
until we got to Rome. When we caught up to, I guess, just after Spectre.
Yeah.
And 5 years before the rest of the movie.
Uh-huh.
That's not explained at all. That's when I got into the movie, and I just didn't care about any of the stuff in the beginning.
That's so interesting because I was like the first 30 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling it, and then like the theme song kicks in, I'm like, hell yeah, and then we meet Anna de Armas, and then she's like, okay, bye, and then the plot happens, and I honestly, I just watched this, you guys. I can't tell you what the plot of this movie is. He has nanobots or some shit. I don't know. Like
it's a
DNA virus.
It's a biological weapon.
Yes.
That can be programmed with. It can only target people with certain DNA.
Yeah, that's sweet. That is literally a plot from Metal Gear Solid. I love it. I think the idea is cool. The execution,
It's the
I
plot
am
of
flabbergasted.
it's the plot of Winter Soldier, except that it's not missiles.
Oh yeah.
And there is a sense that I do enjoy, like someone's coming after Spectre.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, I like that. Spectre has been kind of the boogeyman of the Craig films, retroactively.
I want to do it this way. So
Okay.
One of the things I love about the film is that, like, when I went into this, I was going to be really bummed if Spectre had just been dropped, because my problem with that would be that Spectre was not just Blofeld. The film might push back on that, but Spectre was not just Blofeld. Like, there were so
Quantum,
many
too.
nations incorporated that. Well, Quantum was just part of Spectre.
No, yeah.
But
it's big, yeah.
when you see the Spectre room in Spectre, it's full of people, and I'm like, yo, I get like Blofeld's at the head of it, but like if he gets captured or died, this organization keeps going. Like, there are too many countries doing too much stuff with plans. Like, they run their shit still, so that it would still be a problem. That's not something that you just hand wave away. And so I'm glad that Spectre was still present. Like, it was still a problem that all these guys were around.
But it got handled in like
It bothers me that Blofeld was still the person running it, even from prison. Like, he always was the head of it, no matter what happened. And it does bother me. Like, I do like the idea of someone coming after them.
I do too.
It does bother me that, like, that ends up being Saffron, and Saffron becomes utterly uninteresting as an engaged character. And the one thing I want to piggyback into real quick is that this should have just been Blofeld 2.0.
Yes.
Like, Blofeld fell flat in Spectre. It didn't work. And the fact that you had the opportunity on the table where you are wanting to emotionally explore, especially more than ever, Daniel Craig's James Bond, because you are going to kill him at the end of this movie. The fact that you're going to do that and you don't play on, let's maybe fix and tell better the story of his adopted brother, and how they played at odds against each other. Like, I think Rami Malek's character still could have been here. He wouldn't have bothered me as much if he were the tool under Blofeld. And
Yes.
Blofeld still should have been the main guy, and that should have been fleshed out, and it wouldn't have bothered me that Blofeld was an element we were bringing back from Spectre and following up on, like a part 2 of that, because that one sucked. You could do it better now, and we just didn't, and that's lame.
So the thing the thing that truly baffles me about this movie, and I'm honestly, now that I'm kind of glad that I just watched the Caravan of Garbage videos instead of spending like 12 hours watching half of them being bad movies. Like, this is the culmination of his entire saga, right? So they get rid of Spectre, and now we just focus on a guy we've never met before. Spectre should have been involved in the entire time, and it should have been everyone at odds. It should have been, the scale is very big with missiles and stuff, but the emotional scale is not here for being the end of this franchise. You built up Spectre for 4 movies, and then you just don't do anything with them. It is a hand wave to me. It is a hand wave because they kill them instead of actually doing anything fun with them.
You're right, and there is no good reason why Spectre isn't a bigger presence in this film. I got it. Like, look, I get it. Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, you didn't have the rights to Spectre. I get it.
Yeah.
But you got the rights to Spectre before the Spectre movie came out. Now you got the rights.
You know
Why
what this
are you
is to
pulling
me?
against it?
This is Snoke. This is the bad version of Snoke, where you do kill your villain, but it's not for a cool reason. It's not for a good reason.
It's not to progress the villain into
It's
a
like
higher
it's
place.
Lucifer Satan could have been a cool villain that like, oh, Spectre ruined my life, so I'm going to kill them and blah blah. Like, they could have weaved that all the way through to make it actually impactful. I could not. This is like one of the worst Bond villains to me. Like, I just don't care, man. It's so hard for me to care.
Yeah, he's not. He's really nothing. He's not as over the top as a classic Bond villain, and he's not as charming as a modern Bond villain.
How old is Rami Malek? Was he like 11 when he shot Madeline?
Yeah, they
How-
gave
So
him
this
gray
is
temples.
This is the super confusing thing, because I thought once it was established that, like, oh, this was her as a little girl at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, are we gonna find out like he has some kind of drug?
Because Rami Malek looks like a young dude.
He also gets shot like 6 times and gets up. So I'm like, and falls down and gets up, and I'm like, okay, like, are we gonna acknowledge that there's like something in his system that's keeping him going or something? And like, you see a picture of him as a young boy that's supposed to be implied not that long before he goes and kills her mom's. Like, I'm like, that's Remy. Like, you saw the shot in the
He's supposed to
trailer
be in
where
his 40s or 50s.
in the trailer, there's a shot in that scene where he takes his mask off and he's just him, and I'm like, he's so young. Like, it just doesn't
Benjamin
make any
Button
sense.
syndrome.
Yeah.
So I am being quite negative. I think the action in the movie is awesome. All the action's great. Again, I think like the opening stuff in Rome with like the motorcycle and him like using like the rope to slam. All
super
that
good.
stuff is great. I love all the action. But again, like, I have to care about all the characters involved, and I care about James Bond a lot. This is the best Daniel Craig performance for me. But like, all the side characters for me, I don't think they're utilized well. The villain's kind of lame. Like, Madeline is just like a character to be used. Like,
I want to talk about. Because you brought up Madeline, and if we're okay moving off of Safin, I want to talk about Madeline.
Yeah.
Madeline I have an issue with Madeline Spectre. I don't buy that that Bond would fall in love with her so madly and then retire.
Mhm.
I don't buy that love story in Spectre. I don't think it's well handled.
Yeah.
What, you mean he wouldn't do what he did in Casino Royale
Well,
again?
I bought it in Casino Royale because I bought him in Vesper.
I struggled with even that one.
it's also been 15
watching
years.
watching it again, like, I struggled with even that one, and like the fact that he would just repeat those steps,
Mhm.
given how Vesper was, like, that does bother me. I'm
Sure.
like, that doesn't work.
I don't. But no matter what, the point that I'm trying to make is that in Spectre, I don't buy them. I
Mhm.
don't buy them as a love
No,
story.
I know, I don't either.
And in this one, I thought it was because, like, I just think it's poorly written. It's just, Spectre's not a very good movie. And then this, I still don't buy it. I still don't buy that.
They don't have chemistry.
No, they have no chemistry.
And again, like, it's not regardless of the age gap thing, that doesn't really matter.
It's not an age gap problem.
She's not given enough to do. Like, she's just there to be like the plot point or the foil. Like, man,
They don't have chemistry.
Yeah, no
like
chemistry.
Inspector and here they don't have chemistry.
she's
like,
so good. Like, they're both good.
Other than when like it's forced in a sense, telling you, hey, they're really into each other by making them make out or be sexually interactive with each other. There isn't heat between them.
Yeah.
There's not tension. There's not really a presence of love. I don't buy it. I buy it in a you are telling me it's there sense, but like it's not present. And Daniel Craig's trying, but like it's not there. Like it's just not there. These actors were miscast for that purpose. It doesn't help that I think the 5-year thing where he puts her on a train and like clearly from the scene that like she definitely didn't do it. And like Blofeld did it, and he's setting it up so that Bond will ostracize her, and he spends 5 years being alone, and then it's like, actually, psych, I'm so sorry because I regret that, and I love you, and oh, that's my daughter, dang, and then they kill him, and I'm like, this is such a shitty way to treat this character after everything he's gone.
He's got a Superman baby.
That it's like. You gave him this shitty reason to not have been like he could have just been with her for 5 years and then shit came up. I don't know why we had to do it this
the past
way.
finally catches up to you. Yeah,
that's just, and then I would have bought at least like in a more textual sense, like yeah, he's in love. They've been together 5 years. Like
it's funny that the
way?
screenplay has like 5 people on it. I can't see it at all.
Or when it was revealed that he has a daughter, the audience knows because she's just it's not yours. And the audience is like.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
He knows. Everybody knows.
And it's even telegraphed when she's on the train. She like clutches her stomach. It's like, oh, she's pregnant because she's like, hey, there's something to tell you. He's like, oh, this is what
I
she
knew
reveals.
immediately. Nobody just does that. I got
the second she's on the train, she's clutching her stomach. It's like, oh yeah,
visual.
And then when she's like, oh, it's not yours. I'm like, bullshit.
It's just you looked at that scene. You looked at that little girl, and I don't understand why that line's even there.
I would be remiss not to bring up, I think, a very valid point from Megan. There is no world where Bond doesn't have a vasectomy.
Oh, 100%.
Banging hundreds of ladies. He's got kids everywhere around the world. Absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
That's a good point.
That is so true. Maybe not this Bond because he's always kind of been looking towards the future.
Yeah. But the past, yeah.
Megan just texted me and she's like, you can't tell me that he just doesn't have a vasectomy. Bond babies everywhere.
100%.
Like definitely this dude has a vasectomy. There's a scene where he's like seducing a woman who's about to die, Inspector, into a mirror. And like he definitely don't have a condom on him. Like, come on, man.
That's part
of Q's watch.
It's oh my god. Like that's silly. But more silly to me than that is just like it felt like such a stupid. It bothers me that this character is introduced in Casino Royale as like he's exceptionally good at reading people, and then like half of the movies after that, all the movies after that rely entirely on one point or another him being exceptionally terrible at reading people, like just awful, just the worst at reading people. What a misstep with that character. My God. Yeah, I think that 5-year separation thing was just so unnecessary, and we put him through the ringer for like emotional burden of no good reason. And again, like Daniel Craig's great in this movie, like but all the bullshit that we have to do around it to put him through crap and make him sad is just so meaningless.
So one of the actors from Game Night is in this.
Yes.
The blonde dude who works with Felix.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Logan. Oh, that asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, I was glad he got
Anderson, Alexi, Andrew,
Ash.
Logan
Ash.
See,
so he had to be a bad guy. Otherwise, I was like, this character sucks. like, I know he's supposed to be that type of guy, but I'm like, if they just put him in this movie just to be like the white lame guy, I'm like, this not a good fun character for this movie. Thank God he was a bad guy.
No, I thought he was utilized well.
Yeah.
I think that he, honestly, I like Felix's death.
Yeah,
I think Felix has a really emotional death. There's a point where you think that like you as the audience know that Felix isn't coming out of this movie once he's shot.
Yeah.
But Bond refuses to accept that, and it kind of goes back to like the classic Bond films that he refuses to accept that the people he loved can die. And he's just
there's no time for that.
No time for that. And he's joking. He's about to joke with Felix just as the explosion happens. And at that point, like the audience is just kind of strung along as Bond just will not let Felix die. He's like, you can't, because Felix is Bond's only friend.
Right.
He gets him.
It's a shame that Jeffrey Wright wasn't utilized better in these movies.
Yeah, and a whole
prior to this point.
In a whole, I will agree with that. I like him as Felix, but it's not enough. I wish he had been brought back prior to this movie.
Mhm.
He's only in the first two.
Right.
That's crazy.
He's referenced in Spectre.
Spectre,
They say
I
his
believe.
name.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're like I've called it my friend Felix, and
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that same lady he seduced into the mirror. He's like, I gave you the number for Felix Leiter. He'll protect you.
Hey guys, Lashana Lynch is in this movie.
uh,
Definitely the next James Bond. Hell yeah.
Jeffrey Wright anyway is a
Oh,
good
sorry.
death scene, and I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Lashana Lynch then?
No, I was kidding.
No, I absolutely do. Boy howdy, what a bummer. Like that, just underutilized in the worst ways.
I never thought that she would. Here's the thing: Eon is open to spin-offs. I totally get that. I'm into the idea of her of a Lashana Lynch spin-off of these Craig films, especially if you want to continue this continuity. It's really the only way that you could continue this continuity.
He did.
Because Bond is dead.
He got Black Widowed.
and that's totally. I'm into that. What a poor outing for this woman. And like the 007, I don't understand why giving her 007 matters to anyone in the movie, because it doesn't matter to anyone in the movie. Bond doesn't give a shit that she is 007.
No, it felt like an insult to no one's injury thing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like it either. And so when it does the thing of like, I'd like to reinstate him as 007, like he should have just been like, no, that's
Yeah.
stupid.
That was
Why would you do
that
that?
was such a bad
Bond
choice.
doesn't give a shit.
Right.
He clearly has in the movie he has never shown one shit that she is 007.
That would have been such a good moment too to be like, girl, I've seen you work. You are 007. Nope, it's me again.
Well, and again, like the thing is, like Ana de Armas's appearance is incredible. It's an exceptional
Dude,
part of the
it's
film.
5 minutes
That's a
of
great
pure
scene.
joy. Pure joy.
Everything about them working together is excellent.
This
Three
is
weeks-
in,
three
this is
weeks
in
on the
Cuba,
job.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite scene in the movie.
3 weeks
It's
on the job.
everybody's favorite scene in the movie. It's excellent, and it's a shame that Lashana Lynch has no opportunity in this film to have a standout moment like that.
Yes.
And that bothers me.
She's so in the market. Ana de Armas and her are both so in the marketing, and they're both like,
I was surprised that we only saw her the one scene.
bro, she's seriously in the movie for like 2 minutes. It's
she
insane.
kicked ass. I love that scene. The whole Cuba sequence I thought was awesome.
Dude, I was so
like
ready
you have
for
a
her,
young
yeah.
like a trainee, and I'm kind of you have like the trainee and the one who's been doing this for a huge chunk of his life. So it's like, okay, you get that dynamic, but then it's like she knows what she's doing and she kicks ass at us. I
And
love how she's
they-
like nervous and a little scared,
Mhm.
and how she just keeps downing her martinis. And then Bond's like, damn, okay. But then seeing her in action is like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I live for this shit.
them working together on Knives Out, like they have such good chemistry together, and like
That's where she's.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
she's
truly a shame that she's not
I-
in the movie anymore.
I did not recognize her at all.
I don't know if I don't know if I agree that I wanted her in the movie more. I do really love the scene though. I love Ana de Armas in this movie. There's a line that Daniel Craig has when he's about to run down the hallway, which apparently is his last scene that he shot for this movie. He says to her, "You were great, by the way." And she's like, "Oh, thank you. So are you." And like that's the kind of like the meta thing as they runs up down the hallway. I was like, "Oh, that's cute. I like that." I loved her in this movie.
yeah.
I also one of the funny bits is because there are some good jokes in this movie that really land, especially like when the shooting's done and he goes up behind the bar and he just makes them a drink before they go chase after the doctor one more time. And he goes, so they just take one more shot and then he grabs a gun. I was like, that's just so James Bond, just constantly
Craig,
like, I need a
it was so
drink.
good.
Daniel Craig has always nailed the Bond humor.
yeah, but it was better in this one than
That's
it is
true.
in
This is
most
by
of them.
far the most like I don't mean this negatively, most personality Bond has had in any of these movies.
Yeah, Craig has always been the Bond to try to push try to push James Bond into a more human place. You constantly see him struggling to bring him where the producers clearly don't want him to be. And I've always kind of commended him for that, trying to make it so like this is a Bond who thinks of his life outside of MI6. This is a Bond who wants to leave MI6 eventually, settle down. That has never been part of the canon before. And I think in that way, Craig is such an interesting Bond to look at, and honestly, one of the best in the role.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I liked him so much in this movie, and I just wish this performance, dude. If this performance were in Skyfall would be the best movie ever made.
Mhm.
Like for real. Like
Mhm.
It's Daniel Craig. Like he owns this movie, and I just think everything surrounding it is not up to par. Like honestly, everything. Like, and this movie is it's getting
I
reviewed
think-
very positively online. I am definitely more on the negative side.
Yeah, I think there are elements obviously that are meeting him. They're just not enough in the
Yeah.
film. Like I think Ana de Armas is one. Obviously, I think Ray Fiennes as M. This is one of his best outings.
Yeah,
as
I do
M.
agree.
Him being like
Um,
seedy and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the way he interacts with Bond and the way he calculates with Bond. I think this is his, having watched them, like this is his best M. And I thought that all balanced very, very well.
Yeah, I liked Mallory. Is his character's name Mallory?
Right.
He's a good M in Spectre. Honestly, to be fair, one of my highlights, Spectre, is Ray Fiennes' performance as M.
I would agree, but that's a low bar to clear.
That's true. I think I like the line in Spectre, especially when he's just like, a license to kill is also a license not to kill.
Yes, that's a great line.
And I like that kind of
especially in the context of this is my argument why there shouldn't be drones.
Right.
Because it's having a human on the ground. Like the context of the scene is him standing there and saying, like, the reason why it's important to have a person who's there to take the shot after they've had and assessed all the information is because the license to kill is also the license not to kill.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just as important not to pull the trigger.
The human touch.
Yeah, and I think that he's been really good as M, and this one is definitely his best, where I think he kind of wrestled with this idea that he didn't think it was a mistake at first, but now he has made a mistake that has put his country in danger.
Yeah.
Deliberately. And he doesn't quite know what to do, and he's so stubborn because he doesn't want James's help, because in his view James has abandoned MI6.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, and then the kind of like come to God moment that he has,
Right.
which I actually wanted to highlight. Now that we're talking about Ray Fiennes, there's a moment where he is sitting on a bench looking at Judi Dench's portrait. There's no dialogue, but from M in that sequence.
Right. Not until Tanner comes in.
Not until Tanner comes in, and I think that's
unsung hero Tanner in all of these.
Is that the
movies.
bald guy?
Yeah,
Man,
he's in all of these movies.
He is, and I never remember his
He's
name.
always at M's side every
Yeah,
single
he
film.
He's not in Casino Royale.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's the guy with like, we see him for like a bit in Casino
Mhm.
Royale, and then he bounces and we meet Tanner.
Bouts.
And there's no dialogue, and Ray Fiennes is just looking at Judi Dench's portrait, and you can tell what's happening. He's like, how did you deal with this? How did you go through all of this? And the answer that Judi Dench would give him, I had Bond. And that's kind of where he goes to meet Bond and be like, okay, you're right, we need to work together, we need to stop this.
Nanobots.
I think that's a really powerful sequence, just him kind of, because he's like slunched over and he's like stressed and he's like holding onto the bench, and not proper. Also in that is a cameo from the first M. There's a portrait of the first M.
Sure.
That was cute.
They put her somewhere in all of them.
Yeah.
They also have the reference to her little porcelain bulldog when he goes to get his car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Sean Connery M also has there's a poster. I think there's portraits of all the M's.
Yeah.
Throughout a history, which I think is cool. But yeah, I really like that sequence specifically. I think Ray Fiennes does a really good job, especially when he's talking to Bond. He's like, "Shut up, Bond. I know what I'm doing."
I honestly think, like, overall, like, Ana de Armas isn't in it enough for me to say this, but I think Ray Fiennes is giving the second strongest performance in this film.
Yeah.
And I really like it. I genuinely really like it.
Yeah.
How about Moneypenny and Cutermain?
Really glad they're here.
I'm glad they showed up.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to see Q.
Yeah.
Ben Wishaw's got a great cue. Naomi Harris has like the most she gets to do with Moneypenny in this since Skyfall, so that's nice.
I wanted her to do more though.
I did too.
Especially after Skyfall. She's got it. She's got it. Don't just put her behind a desk.
The issue with making Naomi Harris, I understand what they were going with Moneypenny. There's a book I think Greg Rucka did called Velvet. That's basically like the Moneypenny would have been a spy beforehand, because who would you trust to protect M?
Yeah,
you trust a
spy.
Right.
A spy. So the Moneypenny role is meant to be a spy, and so that's where they kind of came up with Skyfall for Moneypenny. But then after that, you just kind of have her sitting at a desk for 2 movies.
Don't make her cool if you're not going to do anything with her. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of I liked her in Skyfall, and I always wish that Naomi Harris.
She just doesn't have as many good bits as God, I can't remember her name, but the actress, you'll know it, the actress who played Betty Brant in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man's. She just sits at a desk.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Elizabeth Banks just sits at a desk, but she's got her strong points of that scene, and like she's just there at the desk. Like Naomi Harris was never given enough of those opportunities that Elizabeth Banks was with a very similar amount of a role.
Yeah.
But Q, I always love seeing Q.
Oh yeah, Ben Whishaw is fantastic.
Ben Whishaw is
he's a great Q. I was saying to Megan, like if they do move forward and there's another Bond like the same way, that is the character I want to carry over. It's not necessarily Ray Fiennes M. I want Q to stick. Ben Whishaw should continue to be Q.
Yeah.
He's getting ready for a date, and Bond and Moneypenny.
He also has one of my more favorite parts in Spectre, which is when he comes to actually like round up Bond, and then he gets caught up in a chase.
Yeah.
So like, good for him.
Yeah. He's getting ready for a date when Bond shows up and is like, "We need to hack this thing for me."
Hack the planet.
Because Q has become the modern Q is a tech guy, whereas he used to just be a gadget guy.
Ooh, I love that magnet sequence. I'm sorry, it just popped in my head. The magnet sequence at the beginning.
Oh,
where they jumped out with the
that's
doctor.
really cool.
Really great.
They just float down?
That is some Mission Impossible shit.
I thought when they dropped the bomb, I thought they were like, oh, they're gonna like destroy the building, but it's like, no, it's just magnets, so
See,
they can
here's the
jump
thing.
without a thing.
The trailer does a misguide because it shows that, and then the next shot it shows something exploding. So that's this good trailer.
Yeah, I thought that was like, oh, they're like gonna blow the whole building, but no, just the floor.
That's a really Saffin's Spectre goes to
that was
MI6.
Spectre. Cyclops was still with Spectre at the time,
and he switches.
Oh right,
off-screen.
Cyclops.
He switches later because Logan comes to him after Spectre has been murdered.
Right.
Yeah. I forgot about Cyclops.
Yeah.
man.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
It's very confusing,
Yes.
but that is what happens.
Because
Because that's how they get eyes on Logan.
But you're
yeah,
totally right
that's
that it is a Mission Impossible type situation.
100%.
That's awesome.
And it worked.
Yeah, love it.
I showed it was like, Bond, what happened? I showed your watch, Q, blew his mind.
Oh my god!
Talk about the puns. This is the punniest James Bond's been.
I love James Bond puns. I'm a huge look. I won't say it a lot.
It's like Jungle Cruise.
Guys, I'm a big Bond person. So like when he's got the watch doing the EMP that blows up his eye thing is like, I showed him your watch, Q. It blew his mind.
And it's not the first time Daniel Craig's done puns, but I do think it's one of the first times where it's felt
It
comfortable.
lands well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he struggled with it in the past for one reason or another. He felt comfortable in his own skin as Bond this time.
100%.
The film is very well shot.
Absolutely.
Lots of really, really gorgeous shots throughout the movie, even at the dullest moments. Some really incredible shots.
It's very
So
expensive.
you know the shot that in the trailer where it's him doing like the circle thing that puts in like the big corridor at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, at first I thought I was like, man, that's a lame
The
way.
tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel. But at first I thought I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but I actually really liked it because I saw it as a bit of an homage to the opening sequence.
It is.
And
It is.
because when I first saw it in the trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, I know that because that's what's the beginning of every Bond movie. I mean, we get that, and then later on he does the thing. It's like, I see it as an homage now. I'm really glad that I kind of flipped on that because at first I thought I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm
Because
gonna.
it's his last moment that he
And
that he shoots anybody
this-
that isn't Saffron.
Despite this being, like the Craig era, like this kind of is like, for better or worse, a checklist of everything James Bond's about. Like
Right.
it's got evil layers, it's got gadgets, it's got the puns if you want, it's got the good action, it's got the Bond
I don't like
girls.
the villain all that much, but I kind of do dig his evil air.
No,
like
it's super dope.
His
Hella
garden
dope.
of poison.
Love
and
it.
It's
Maybe
like,
a
yo,
few too many trips through tunnels.
yeah, a lot of trips.
There were a lot of tunnels.
But like the poison garden, I'm like,
I loved it.
I kind of dig it because you don't think about when you think of plants, you don't really think about how many plants are actually deadly to people.
I don't need this laboratory to wipe your whole
Oh,
race
the
off
Russian
the planet.
guy!
Oh,
Guys, the Russian
Time to
guy.
die.
He was so good, so silly.
Good Russian doctor.
and then when she looks at it, it's like, do you know what time it is? What time to die? Kick.
I love it.
I'm like, I kind of dug that part. I really like that part.
Yeah, this is definitely kind of running through a checklist of James Bond kind of motifs and tropes. and things.
Incredible sequence in the fog.
Yes.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
forest.
Yeah.
That was spooky.
Killing Ash is so satisfying.
Very.
I had a brother. And you're like, is he gonna talk about Blofeld? His name was Felix Leiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That was
It's
great.
like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna just make this car squishy. So,
Great kill.
all right,
Take
so,
that, Prince from Aladdin.
So I'm kind of. Oh shit, he was.
Yes.
I forgot about that. I don't know if we're like winding down, but as you guys have noticed, I haven't had a whole lot to say about this movie because I feel like with James Bond, especially the Craig films, I am the Casey Casual of this panel when it comes to these movies.
Bro, what are you I am too. I don't care about James Bond.
Yeah, because I mean, I like
Yeah.
James Bond, but I have not gone back to watch. I've never seen Quantum of Solace. I only seen Casino Royale, Skyfall, and Spectre,
You're fine. You can
And-
actually remove one and you'd be even better.
which I did. I reviewed Quantum of Solace.
I'm an
but-
inspector.
When you guys are talking about, like, at first I thought, oh, maybe I am going to enjoy Rami Malek as Saffron, and then as the movie came on, I was like, he shows up 40 minutes into the movie.
I think it would be even harder to give any amount of a shit about what's happening in this movie without Spectre. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
like to the
Yeah.
movie's detriment.
No, yeah, but again,
Yeah.
like I did watch a video, so like I know all the
No, for
important
sure,
stuff.
for sure.
Like,
But like, if you hadn't done that, this movie doesn't do you favors.
no, that's what I mean. Like if you did do the homework, I think it's a detriment because like it doesn't pay off the stuff if
Yeah.
you just watched it. In my opinion,
I mean, I still think, oh no, I think this is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Because those action scenes are so damn good.
yeah,
They are so, like, the scene in Italy is so fun to watch. It's on the edge of your seat.
love
the,
that car.
Yeah, the car, like when he's like, okay, he always has a cool Aston Martin that has machine guns in the headlights. It just goes,
Spectre is such a tease, by the way. Spectre is such a tease with the Aston Martin gadgets, and is like, oh, not loaded.
not today.
Yeah.
Hate it.
But just all the, like the scene in the fog, the scene in Cuba, like all the action set pieces, even the final one is just they're so satisfying. And like you get like some of the emotional stuff here and there. Like the emotional stuff, I couldn't care less because when I go see a Bond movie, I want to see stuff blow up, and I got that.
Well, this is the first time, really, that Bond has gone for first time in a long time, I should say, that Bond has gone for like a big emotional impact. Generally, Bond doesn't. They are trying to be a little bit more fun.
Oh yeah,
Well, no,
Are you talking this movie or Craig's era in general?
we're talking about just Bond in general, because Craig was
No, I mean like saying going for emotion. This movie or Craig's era.
this movie
Okay.
definitely goes for a bigger emotional moment than Craig has done so far.
Yes, bigger, but I would argue that they were going for emotion the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think they
I mean,
always
Casino Royale
succeeded.
ends with his girlfriend dying. That's
Like
sad.
I that's yes, what he just said. I think Quantum of Solace is going for the emotion of the revenge of that. Skyfall is going for the emotion of with M. Spectre
That
is
does
going
work.
for the
That does work.
emotion of his brother and his relationship with Madeline. And neither of those land, but they are going for it. That is the thing. Like, yes, this is the biggest version of that, but that is what they're going for throughout the whole era. And I don't. This was me trying to dovetail us into. I guess it's hard to say. I don't know if this would have been all better if they hadn't done we are going to be serialized storytelling. We are going to carry an emotional arc for Bond through 5 films.
Yeah.
We're now at the end of it, and I really don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Would we have been better off if they tried to just isolate each one? Skyfall doesn't reference the other films, and it is my favorite.
Yeah, I personally, again, like I'm like the least fan here, but like for me, if this was the final movie, I don't feel like it'd be worth it.
There is the sense that you're absolutely right, because like looking back on it, and the serialization of the Craig Bond films always happened after. So it was like, it was like we did Casino Royale. Okay, we'll do Quantum of Solace, and that was the serialization of
That
that.
was the first like sequel.
And
yeah.
then Skyfall happened, and we're not referencing it. And then Spectre happened. That we're
They
actually
reference it, but they
serious.
reference it passively.
Right. And then No Time to Die. I feel like I honestly feel like because you did that, and maybe even locked in as early as Quantum of Solace, his death was always the inevitable end.
Mhm.
I don't think there was a moment. I don't think there was a way that they could have gotten back to the point. Maybe after Skyfall, would have been like the last time they're like, you're the last. This is our last chance before we get into serialization era. I don't think there was a way we could have gone back to the original Bond formula of every film being standalone. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I like, again, because like it's gonna be a reboot, the next James Bond, and regardless, if to me it could have, I would have liked to have James Bond actually have a final ending, like the Paul Walker ending, right, where he sails away
So
and
I'm
he
glad you brought that
does
up.
truly retire,
So
and then
that-
he can still reboot.
that's part of my thing, is like looking back at it, and as all of these Craig films, and it is so sad as it is now, honestly. Like, it is just such a sad man's story, because this is a guy who pretty much from the beginning was like, I'm just looking for the excuse to get out. I want to be happy and in love, and I want to leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore. I want to find what's still good in this world and good in me and leave it. That's the establishment from Casino Royale, is he's just looking for that. He didn't get it. He got revenge over that. He was upset. Skyfall, like, I guess all I have is this job, and like M, who I give a shit about. Oh, she's dead? Well,
Womp
here
womp.
I am. Womp womp. finally gets Madeline, finally gets a reason to leave, gets jerked around, finds out that he could have had a happy life with her and his daughter if he hadn't got screwed over by his adopted brother, and then has to die because he's poisoned to never see them again. So he's just got to let it go.
That's 15 years of sadness, my man.
That is so lame, and I agree with you completely. I'm like, this kind of isn't, in my opinion, the ending that Craig's Bond deserved. And it's unfortunate that they decided to spin him off in that direction
Also,
rather than allowing him to finally have like
yes.
the thing he was wanting the whole time.
Also, again, like deciding to kill him instead of leaving him alive. We know at the end James Bond will return. We know it's going to be a new guy. Why don't you give your character a happy ending? Like what? Like why does he have to? Why does it have to end this way? I don't get it.
It is incredibly strange that for the first time ever, and I cannot stress that enough, ever, you're giving James Bond an ending. You are ending the story of James Bond.
Right.
And you decided that for the first time ever, for your first ever ending, that it's going to be sad.
Bro, if this movie ended the way Dark Knight Rises did, where James and Madeline are in France, and then like M is like getting teen, he's like, hey, good job living your life. Beautiful. I would have loved that.
The Dark Knight Rises ending?
What did I say?
Yeah. No, I was just checking. Like,
I said Dark Knight Rises ending.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, that would have been beautiful. Because again, we know how movies work. Everything gets rebooted. You don't have to actually kill him. Again, now that we're here, 15 years of sadness. This man's barely had any happiness.
So-
And they're never gonna end the James Bond franchise because
and they won't give it to Lashana Lynch.
because it is, here's the thing. I could actually see them doing that because they almost went forward with a Jinx spinoff. At
Sure,
the end of the
James
day.
Bond will return.
That is the other thing. Like I could probably see them having their cake and eat it too. They didn't say 007 will return.
Nope.
Oh, what was I going to say though? I was going to say, I forgot. It's fine.
That the happy ending thing we were talking about, like sitting there. I'm trying to get you back to it.
That's fine.
With M sipping tea, like why would it have to end in this way?
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, you wanted to go with like the sad one instead of the happy one. I
think it's supposed to feel heroic, but it is. But again,
And
like
it is,
this is
to an extent.
Like when you look back on all the movies.
Oh, I remember.
There you go.
The James Bond franchise will never end because regardless of whoever they're going to call 007, whether or not they want to spin off into the thing, the James Bond franchise will never end because it is the only thing that Eon Productions has.
Yep.
They do not have other movies.
Sure.
They were created to produce James Bond films, and they have only produced James Bond films for 25 films, 5 decades.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not going to be like, okay, we're just not going to do that anymore. What, they're not going to be a company anymore?
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, like this gets into a broader question that honestly we don't have time to really get into right now. But like, we've beaten around it before. Like, does a modern James Bond work? Like, honestly, I would even put this up as an argument that like kind of not so much, because like this is a good Daniel Craig performance in probably the least James Bondy James Bond that he's been.
Yeah.
Because you have to get further away from those elements to make it land anymore. So I agree with Brandon. Like, if we're doing James Bond, I'd rather it's a period piece. I don't really want to see a new like James Bond in the year 2024. I don't need it.
I mean,
I'd rather the 007 moniker.
I can't tell you how disappointed I was that it didn't say 007. Like
I am
for
too.
real.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see, to be honest, when I was watching the movie, I really had to use the bathroom. So the second the credits started rolling,
It's
I
3
ran.
hours, Ben. You're
I
fine.
ran out of the restroom.
All it
I
is-
ran to the restroom.
All it is
But-
is that those movies have always ended by saying, 22 out of the movies have ended with James Bond will return. That's the moniker that they took on. The MCU adopted that from them.
But the thing I was gonna say is this: seeing Bond actually die and blow up in front of me, I was like, I did not like that. Because once again, I haven't seen all the James Bond films. I've seen a handful, but every time James Bond has always came out of these impossible situations unscathed. And I do agree with you guys; he deserves a happy ending. This has been 15 years of super sad Bond, and he finally
I'll say
has
this Bond deserved a happy ending.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah,
That's
but-
what I mean.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't want to see. I'm done with the sadness. I get it. We're in it. Like the filmmakers today, it's like, yes, things are sad. I get that, but I want a happy ending for God's
The
sake.
thing is, all of these James Bond films, the Daniel Craig films fell into a pattern of doing the same thing.
Right.
They're all deconstructionist James Bond movies. They're all attempting to deconstruct the idea of what James Bond would be in the modern world, and they all be like, you're a relic of the past, Bond. Actually, you were the only one who could do this,
So-
Bond, and that's been all of them.
He's the
So-
spryest he's been in this movie.
there are problems. Yeah, he's suddenly younger.
Yeah.
There are problems all around. We've covered a lot of them with this film, but I think the death could have worked if he hadn't been apart from her for those 5 years.
Mhm.
It's the fact that he was robbed of those 5 years for frankly a really stupid reason.
Yeah.
And that it takes Blofeld being like, it was me, James. It was me. Didn't you know, James? And I'm like, bro. And but if he'd had that time with his daughter, and then this shit happened, and that's when he at least he had that.
He would have known what it's like.
He had the moment of a pretty nice slice of the world that he'd always wanted.
You know what? Real quick. It would have been Tony Stark having his years
Morgan.
with Morgan.
100%,
Exactly.
yeah.
100%.
And
It
then
would have
him
been exactly
sacrificing himself in Endgame.
I will say, I want to say a note that I wrote down last night. Blofeld has some serious Thrawn energy.
Yes, he does. Christoph Waltz would be a good Thrawn.
Yeah.
Oh, he would.
Blofeld from Spectre and into this movie has very much. It was me, Barry.
He's even he's
mhm.
honestly better in his scene here than he is in all of Spectre.
Oh.
And it's a shame that he wasn't the villain. He
yeah.
should have been our villain. Like the fact
Hannibal
that
Lecter
the fact that
style.
they introduced that concept of him being the James's adopted brother, and that lands so terribly in Spectre that they didn't try to make that better here. Sucks.
So they did this. Okay, so like Blofeld is like the dark reflection of Bond, right? But then they do the thing with Satan where he's like, we're not so dissimilar, Bond. Like we just did this with the
we love the
you
same
killed.
woman, I suppose.
Like,
So, I mean,
God.
the whole time, at first I was like, okay, this guy's killing Spectre, cool. But then how is he going to turn into the homicidal maniac that I know he's going to be? And then he's like, and then they're like, oh, I'm just going to kill millions of people. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why?
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 I mean, I get that. Where's the motivation for Spectre? Hell yeah, good motivation. He killed his family. He's out for revenge. Awesome. I kind of dig that.
Power control.
And I understand why Bond wants to come after him because he's like, yo, you were gonna kill Madeline.
Prepare to
But
die.
then the whole is like, I'm going to kill millions of people across the world. He doesn't say that, but he's like, then they find out he's gonna kill millions.
He
It's like,
thinks that.
but still, why?
The ending is meant to be. The movie tells us that his ending is meant to be triumphant.
Mhm.
But it doesn't quite land because what you're talking about with Sparks, with the idea that he never got even a hint of that happy ending that he's always
Right.
been asking for.
Right.
That said, though, boy, watching James Bond cry on screen did something to me.
I'm sure, yeah.
I mean, Daniel Craig is selling the performance.
Yeah,
I won't deny.
I was a sobbing wreck. I'll
Mhm.
be honest.
I wish I was. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's giving it for sure. Yeah.
I was sitting there going, so how you gonna get out of it? Where's the helicopter's gonna save you last second?
Yeah, right.
Where's the miracle cure they're gonna
Ben.
find out?
Oh no, Ben. Like the moment he was poisoned, I'm like, oh, they gonna kill him.
Ben, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The moment the third trailer that we saw when there's like this the final James Bond movie, the moment I saw that trailer, I was like, they're killing him at the end of this movie.
100%.
So like I've known that he was going to die, and it's still not like I suspected. I didn't know. I suspected he was going to die, and then watching it happen and being such a Bond fan, like it was the first time I've ever seen this character die, and it really wrecked me.
I believe it.
Um,
Yeah.
I wish I felt more sad than I felt bitter.
Yeah.
Because and it's for the reasons I've said. Like, I just don't feel that he deserved that as a character. Like
They did him
that
dirty.
you spent all that time just denying him over and over again, like making him just this sad man,
Mhm.
this really sad man. And it's one of those things where like it worked for a sense of like you got an emotional gut punch out of me because I watched all the movies close to each other, and so I'm like, man, I feel that, but at the same time I'm like, I watched all these movies close together and I feel like you did him dirty.
Mhm.
You just did him dirty. And it's just a weird way to end it, I guess.
I like their kind of post-mortem that they have, that they pour a drink out
yeah,
for him.
I
and
think
they
that's
talk about him.
totally appropriate.
I-
Again, like
watching
that
M-
5 years makes a difference.
watching M have to wrestle with the fact that he might not be able to launch the missiles, and then realizing that Bond is not going to get out of it, and having everyone kind of come to their own conclusion that that's going to be the case. I think is a really effective emotional beat.
There was a lot of end game in here. 5 years later, the hero dies
Yeah.
and he's got to
Yeah,
kill
But
him.
it's like
That's funny.
but honestly, I would have preferred them to be like 5 years later, not 30 minutes into the movie. I realized that he has a 5-year-old kid. Oh, so it's been 5 years.
100%.
Like I thought it was like a couple months since we saw since
grows
we put her on
fast.
the train.
Yeah.
Uh,
Throw mama from the train.
like there were no context clues to tell me that it's been years since
Wait.
then.
Wait, you mean throughout the film?
Well, so when he puts her on the train,
Yeah.
and then we cut to wherever we cut to next. I thought it was just a couple months.
It says 5.
It says
It's
5 years later.
It says 5 years
I
later.
missed that. I apologize.
Oh yeah, no,
Ah, yeah, it
like,
definitely says
right
that.
after the sequence, the Billie Eilish sequence, it says 5 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I apologize.
Yeah, Sorry, I
Apparently
had
I'm
no
an
idea
idiot.
that you were.
Yeah,
no,
I
I had no
thought-
idea you were missing that for sure. Yeah, it says 5 years later.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I totally forgot Billie Eilish was singing the theme song. I was just like, this
good.
is pretty.
It's very
Oh,
good.
great song.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, I
Won the
didn't-
Grammy.
Is this the
I didn't
second?
care
Is this
for
the
it.
second
Oh, I like
time?
it.
Oh gosh,
Is
it won the
this
Grammy this year, baby. Hell yeah.
Is this the second time where where the song is actually titled from the movie, like what Adele did with Skyfall?
No, it's
Ben.
many of the
Almost
songs.
all of them are named.
I will say almost all. It's not all. It is almost all.
It's a
of them
lot
are.
of them though.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Like
okay.
Live and Let Die.
Yep.
Is the famous like Beatles, right? They did that one.
Wings.
Wings.
Wings. Die Another Day. Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, Madonna.
Madonna. Whatever. Who cares?
I do. They're different people.
Yeah. I like the Billie Eilish sequence.
I think it rocks.
more than
From Russia with Love.
the Spectre one's one of my least favorites. Quantum of Solace is the god.
That's the Jack White one.
Quantum of Solace is garbage.
I don't even remember who sings
It's the
that
Jack
one.
White
I
one,
find
yeah,
it so
yeah.
forgettable.
Yeah.
Skyfall's like my favorite.
Skyfall's. I think Skyfall's a fantastic Bond song and just a fantastic song.
You know my name.
Yeah. I just it's so.
I tell you what, I
the
would-
potential was there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm more negative, but I know if I would have watched like 12 hours of James Bond and then immediately come to see this, I would be so much more negative. So I'm really glad I did it.
Mm,
I am super
I see
glad
what
I
you're
did
saying.
because like this is like it's not like horrible. Like I think it's a fine movie, but like this is an Endgame. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And like the setup from the last 4 movies, they get rid of it, and I think that's just the worst mistake they possibly could have made for your final movie.
Alicia Keys and Jack White did Another Way to Die, which is Quantum of Solace, and
Yep.
Spectre was done by Spectre. Seems
Oh, that
That's,
was
Sam
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Writing on
writing
the
on the
wall.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
Yeah.
is the second time, the third. They're the second time in the Craig era films that it's been titled the
Right.
movie, but it is a common thing.
I didn't know because I heard Skyfall, like the song Skyfall for the movie Skyfall. I'm like, oh, okay.
Gold member finger, not member.
That's
That's a different movie.
That is a definitely.
That's an Eddie
different-
Murphy movie.
Yeah, I just circling back on the Lashana Lynch, like what a bummer to, like the whole pretense of like this 007 rivalry thing that they just want to kind of slam
Why does
into
she
the film
care
for
so
some
much
reason.
about?
And like not giving her an opportunity to really shine in
And
the
it-
film
it's
is the thing
disgusting.
that feels like disservice.
It's
Go ahead.
disgusting that she's the only one who cares.
Yeah.
She's
It's
the only
so-
one who cares that she's
But,
007.
hey everybody, look how much James Bond's mad at me, and he's like, I don't even know who you are.
I don't give a shit.
And I think there was potential to like when she's first introduced, I feel like she's interesting, but then they just don't flesh her out as a character.
She's got a presence, but I just think like most of her lines are like
it bums me
kinda
out because
bad.
I know Phoebe Waller-Bridge did some punch up on this script, and I just don't feel like it's there enough.
That's the thing. Like that makes me think that like she saved those characters. If this is
Oh,
what
yeah, I bet
if
she
this
did.
is what we got, like getting like a lady in here to like write their female characters, and this is the best we got. I'm like, how bad were they before? Goodness.
Mhm.
Should we rate?
7.
I also say 7.
Action scenes alone make it a 7.5 for me.
Craig's performance is carrying me to a 7.
Absolutely.
I will say 8. Honestly, I think the emotional punch is there for me.
Mhm.
I have been. Here's the thing. I've been negative on this this panel. It is easy to feed off of the same emotion that we all are. But honestly, I am not as harsh on this film as the other. I truly do love it. It's the third best Craig film in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
I mean, that's not.
Regardless of that,
Yeah.
regardless of that, I really do think that this movie works well for me, regardless of even the things that I've said about it, which I stand by. I just, I feel more positive than I've expressed on this.
That's allowed.
I even as I am expressing the things I'm saying, like they are critically negative. There's a lot of things that I think are a problem with this film. Craig's performance carries it through where I reach a point where I'm like, well, I'm fine because I'm following you.
100%.
And that's where I land. But I wish the elements of the film were supporting him more for what both Craig and the character deserved.
Should we get into a book club?
Let's do it.
Brains.
All right, it is time for our book club. Ben, I'm going to pass the ball over to you because
Yep.
it's yours.
That is me. So my book club is Marvel Zombies, written by Robert Kirkman, and I should have
The art's Sean Phillips.
Sean Phillips, that guy. So yeah, I picked this book club because I never read Marvel Zombies before. We're in October, it's spooky's time, and I heard really good things about this book thanks to Ryan after we watched the Zombies episode of What If. So god damn, I really wish that's what we got in the What If show. Holy crap.
I really like this book a lot. I think it's super fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I thanks to Sparks, actually, I read this one and its two prequels when they first came out.
Yeah.
As well as the Ultimate Fantastic Four book that
And the Army of
spawned
Darkness
from.
crossover.
In preparation for this, I read the Ultimate Fantastic Four arc, both that precedes this,
yeah.
and I read Marvel Zombies 2 just to see what happens. And
Hell
that takes place 40 years in the future. It's wild.
Yeah, look, spoiler alert, I was actually really upset that you picked this because my book club this month was going to be Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies.
Why can't it?
I don't. I may want
Spoilers, my book club is also a Marvel Zombies book.
I may want some variety. I haven't decided yet. I got 2 weeks. Calm down.
I'm so angry.
So you know, I really love the Marvel Zombies run. Anyway, I think Robert Kirkman is obviously is a good zombie writer. So yeah, this was great.
Yeah, because I remember when Zombies was coming out, and so I mean, obviously, I wasn't really buying books at the time because this came out in 2009 ish, right?
2005.
Oh, 2005. Because I remember going to like people were,
time.
well, I remember people wearing Marvel Zombie T-shirts a lot because I remember there's like this one Marvel. It was the Marvel Civil War T-shirt that a lot of people were wearing. Like my brother even had that T-shirt.
People love the covers.
Yeah, I mean they're
There's
awesome.
a whole book of just the variant
They're
covers.
fantastic.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They are amazing covers. But finally getting to read what the whole thing was about is like now with the context, this hits a lot harder than I thought because I thought it was like, oh, it's just these characters that turn into zombies, whatever.
No.
But the fact that they retain their personalities, you hear them talking, and it's not
Mhm.
just "Rrr." It's not just like normal zombie grunts. It's like
these are
we're hearing
yeah.
Captain America and
Colonel
Spider
America.
Colonel America. Thank you. Why is he called Colonel in this one?
Because it's a different universe.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just one of those things that's supposed to keep it separate.
Okay, but calling him Colonel America and him talking to Tony and like how his brain is half gone, and also I like how these zombies are like
Yeah.
different zombies that if you shoot the brain or cut off half the brain, they're still alive. They're still walking around.
you got to destroy everything.
Yeah, you gotta like incinerate them.
Mhm.
So I really
Or
like.
pull the whole brain out of their head.
Like Red Skull.
Oh
Like
yeah, you
that's
got to
called a
destroy.
society.
Oh, yeah.
You got to destroy
You
everything.
gotta destroy all the brain.
That's right.
all the brain.
You have never had a more obvious weakness.
Yeah, but this made zombie like seeing this what Robert Kirkman did with these Marvel zombies. It's like these zombies are actually scary.
Yeah.
They're actually terrifying because they're talking about we need to find
Well,
food.
it's
The-
because
the-
they're not zombies. It's because
the scariest of them is Hank Pym.
yeah.
it's
Because he's just like, yo, I think the thing that terrifies me is I'm a sociopath.
like
No,
I
like
enjoy
the thing
this.
that terrifies him is like, you know what? Even if I was to find a cure, I'd still want to eat people. It's like,
Uh,
oh shit.
So
what?
Magneto at the beginning of this book is like quote unquote like one of the last survivors, and we're
Yeah.
following him, and it's just so good because Magneto's like, "Do you think you can defeat me?" And
So-
then Wasp just immediately grows and bites him, and
Yeah.
Hank's like, "Actually, I thought it was gonna be really easy."
Which is, to its credit, reference in the Marvel Zombies.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
that's what makes me mad about that episode
It's
because
like-
they do reference good stuff,
Uh-huh.
just not the whole thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
why make it lame like that?
Mhm.
Galactus shows up, Silver Surfer shows up. This book's just so fun. go ahead.
I love like when
Peel away his candy coating.
So I actually really like Zombie Wolverine, and I love how you can see these bodies constantly still decomposing and still rotting away, even though they're air quotes here feeding. Like when Silver Surfer shows up, he's like, Galactus has been called, your world's going to be destroyed, and he uses his arm to like and you see the adamantium claws rip out of his own skin,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
and he's just like, well,
Yeah,
crap.
when he's losing his bones, he's like, I wish I had adamantium ligaments.
Yeah. So just seeing that is like this is a what if done right.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely like it's scary, and it's there's their characters, like Hank Pym, and he bites his own wife's head off because it's like, oh, you see that like T'Challa's here because I'm trying to do some stuff, but I need to feed off of him.
Because he didn't squash her, he just chopped her head off. She survives, and then she
Uh-huh.
becomes T'Challa's BFF.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for the Marvel Zombies 2, she gets a robot body.
Oh no, that's in the.
She's
Oh, that's in
robot
this
body.
one.
That's in this book.
I
Yeah.
read them literally back to back. Sorry. Okay, that's that's
Like
awesome.
you see,
When
like
we
oh,
see
it's
the
literally right here.
when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
see further in the future and we see T'Challa with his new child.
yeah.
yeah. Oh, T'Challa's kid. Is that in the next one? T'Challa's kid becomes.
No,
Captain
you see,
America?
T'Challa's we just see them as a baby. At the
yeah,
end
we
of
just
the
see
zombies.
like when you see what's her name? She like gives T'Challa a look and is like, oh, they're gonna
Oh, see,
be together.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. So Silver Surfer gets eaten. Galactus shows up. Like, where's my herald? We ate him. And Galactus is like, what?
He's like, you did what?
He's like, yeah, and we're still hungry. Like Luke Cage and Spider-Man play cards together, just talking about how much life sucks. Like, I always wear a mask to protect
And
me from
everybody-
looking in mirrors.
Well, I've never forgotten. Like one of my favorite bits is like Tony being like, "Spider-Man, how's your wife and aunt? Oh no,
Yeah.
don't bring them up."
Yeah, this was just like just a lot of fun.
when they finally, because I had a feeling that when Galactus shows up, I was like, they're gonna eat. Because I was thinking, it's like, oh, is Galactus gonna turn into a zombie? But the fact that when they ate the Silver Surfer and they got the power cosmic from the Surfer, and then they ate Galactus and became the new Galactus,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's just a feeding frenzy for the entire universe now.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yeah, they can go anywhere, do anything. I love the like really gross bit about them like maintaining their consciousness by pulling out the things they've eaten and re-eating it from their own stomachs, just ripping it and just like, oh, I gotta eat this.
Banner's constantly turning into the Hulk because he's hungry.
Right.
Gross.
Somebody punch me. I don't want to feel this. It's
Oh,
gonna burst out of my belly.
It's kind of a bummer that this is spinning off. It's kind of a bummer. Like Ultimate Fantastic Four happened first, and then this happened off of that.
Right.
But it is a bummer that there's no like a montage recap page at the very.
Oh,
at the very least.
sure. About what Magneto was doing with them.
Yeah, because there would be kind of nice to have like because Thor doesn't have Mjolnir because he's not worthy anymore.
Right.
So
Because that is flat out a Ultimate Fantastic Four story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got the little blurb, but I know what he means. He means like a visual like montage recap.
Oh,
of,
I
like,
see.
what
Yeah,
was
I
happening.
got you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I think that would be that would have been. It's not a detractor. I don't mean to even imply that.
No, I get what you mean now. Yeah,
it's just it would have been nice to have that because like there are things that you read and you're like, oh right, because context clues. I understand what happened.
The nice thing is if you buy Marvel Zombies complete collection right now, you get those Ultimate Fantastic Four issues. So you get that whole piece of this because it does kind of feel like a part 2 of something because it kind of is. Yeah, for sure. I'm with you.
Anything else we want to add?
No, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest, because when I picked this, I was like, because I never read it. I've heard Brian was saying good things about it, and I don't know why I had it in my head. It's like, oh, it's just gonna be like a generic zombie thing. But as I was,
It's because you watched the show.
well, even before that, because like people were talking like, oh yeah, zombies is good. It's like, so
Oh.
what's different? Like, they're zombies, and like they wouldn't tell me the and part is like,
Oh.
what makes zombies so
They
special?
were.
What
yeah,
makes these things so
Well, you
cool
see,
and
Ben,
iconic?
Superman came down from the DC universe with a zombie plague.
definitely
That
Superman.
That's a different one.
Oh, sorry. Well, no, actually, it was Robert Kirkman's talked about it. It was a little background, I guess. It was meant to
That
be
one was
Superman.
tailor made for the DC universe, sir.
Oh
This
my
is for the
God.
Marvel universe.
Tom Taylor.
Yeah.
Superman was supposed. It was going to be. It wasn't going to be like Superman, but it was going to be like a guy in blue and red, and then Marvel's like, DC won't let us do this, and so they recolored it to be Sentry, which is why Sentry has black hair in the Marvel Zombies universe and
Oh,
not
okay.
blonde.
Okay, but either way, finally being able to read the first Marvel Zombie story, I was like, this is actually really good. I can see why people say this is a really good book.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and like I said, I did read the sequel like immediately afterwards because I'm like, this is really fun, and it's like a brisk read, and the sequel takes place 40 years in the future, and it's like the next generation of heroes, but also old T'Challa, like in a robot suit and stuff. Like it's cool. Marvel Zombies is cool.
I love seeing Forge.
Like
The second Forge came out, and
Nah,
I'm like,
man.
and then he's like, I have some experience with prosthetic limbs. I'm like, oh yeah, he
Hell
does.
Yeah.
love it.
I'm like, yeah, Forge.
It's a fun gruesome read.
Gruesome,
It's
for
very gruesome.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, it's your turn next week.
Hell yeah, baby. Guess what, guys? It's anthology time once again. I got 6 stories for you. Excuse me. I got 6 issues for you with 5 stories because one of them is a 2-parter. We are going to start with The Invincible Iron Man, issue 504, City of Light, City of Stone by Matt Fraction and Salvador La Roca. And it's also 504 and 505, Invincible Iron Man. That is a Fear Itself arc where evil Thor's uncle brings a bunch of evil hammers down, and it's frightening, let's say. Next is What If Magic Became the Sorcerer Supreme by my BFF. I wish she would be Leah Williams. And I don't have the artist here. I'm so sorry. What if Marvel Comics went metal with Ghost Rider? That is by Sebastian Gerner and art by Alexi Bristlecott. And then I got a Ghost Rider number 7, guys, from 1990. This is from the Danny Ketch run, the run that I've fallen in love with. I got this physical issue. That's about the Scarecrow. That's by Mark Texiera and Howard Mackey. That's a whole bunch of spooky shit. I forgot one. It's the most important one. I got one here. Hold on. Marvel Zombie. Where is it? No, it's not here. There's a book called Marvel Zombie. It's a one-shot written by the guy who wrote Ice Cream Man, Maxwell Prince. It is about the 1950s pulp character Zombie, who is Marvel's original zombie character.
Oh.
Very cool.
Is that
Lot of-
zombie spelled differently? Like Z?
Nope.
It's
Spelled
spelled straight-
zombie.
Okay.
Spelled
It's
zombie.
just zombie, so it's not zombies.
It's spelled Marvel
singular,
Zombie.
not plural this time.
No, I know. I was just asking because I've seen zombie spelled, and I just couldn't
Oh,
remember
okay.
if this was ZOMBI.
Singular zombie.
Gotcha.
Got 5 gruesome stories.
That was what if Marvel Universe went metal? that one of them?
What if Ghost Rider went metal?
Ghost Rider went metal. Thank you.
You got all that right, Sparks?
I did.
I also got it
Alright.
here for if you need it.
Because
All
I'm
right.
definitely gonna need. It's like, so what were the issues I need to read again?
You'll be fine.
October trucks along with next week we'll talk about Halloween Kills,
Oh my God.
the sequel to Halloween,
Peacock's own.
which is the sequel to Halloween.
Peacock's own.
Yeah, and you can check out
The
that.
sequel to Halloween.
The sequel to Halloween.
No, I know. That's just very funny.
Thank you.
It's the sequel to Halloween, which is also the sequel to Halloween.
Which is also the sequel to Halloween.
No.
No,
That's it.
No,
it
no,
stops
no.
there.
One removed.
All right, so check that out. Stay tuned for that. And hey guys, we got some other shows that I've talked about in the description below. Did you want to say something, Sparks?
Mm-mm,
Okay.
no.
You can check out, of course, Conversation, which is going on hiatus for a bit, where I talked with Michael Hamilton from the Kaiju Weekly podcast. Subscribe to that. That's audio only. And you can check out our YouTube channel, which if you're watching this, hey, like this video, subscribe to this channel. And you can check out our other shows, such as Fake Nerds Watch with What If. What If is over now. Last episode is coming soon.
Very likely tomorrow.
For us, that means the end of the Fake Nerds Watch. Fake Nerds Watch series. For now, we'll have some specials coming in the near future, and of course, Hawkeye will be next in November, and that's still going with. And so Star Trek Lower Decks is also still going. There's 2 more episodes of Fake Nerds Watch to come, but 1 more episode to be recorded. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll do Star Trek Prodigy, so that'll continue.
Mhm.
And of course, we got Basement Arcade. You can check out Basement Arcade, which has 2 new episodes up from this last week. You can check out Amnesia and Aliens Fireteam Elite, and there are more new episodes coming this week.
More Aliens Fireteam Elite and Outlast.
And Basement Arcade pause menu.
Mm-hmm.
The latest episode with Arcade Attacks. Do you have,
Yep.
a new episode coming soon? Or
Dude, I got 3 in the pipeline.
very
Hell
cool.
yeah, baby.
Very cool. Fake Nerd Book Club and Animation Station are the other shows on this channel. You can check out Crafted by Z. We have some masks on Crafted by Z, the Etsy page. You can check out those, or you can check out our Patreon. As I mentioned before, the Patreon shirt is currently on hiatus until we can put those Steam shirts out. I
But we
promise I will
still
get them
have
out.
a $1 tier.
We do still have a $1 tier, so if you want to support us in any way, check out our $1 tier.
It's only $1.
And of course, we have our TeePublic where you can check out all of our other merchandise, different designs and whatnot. There's a new design coming soon, so stay tuned for that. I was actually going to announce it today, but I forgot to put it up. So do it next week.
Is it what I think it's going to
Yeah,
be?
you've seen it already. You guys have seen it already.
Oh,
You can check out our website as well with fakenerdpodcast.com. That's linked below as well. You can check out all those links. So there. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches. Thank you to everyone who watched the live show and the rewind. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci for doing our music that you've heard all throughout today.
Yeah.
And all the music throughout all of our shows. You can check him out at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards or his Suburban Proctologist podcast, which is on iTunes or Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official or Instagram at Subproc Podcast. And of course, Mike Patola. You can check out Mike Patola. He does our logos. He's done a few logos for us, done a few episodes for us. So we love him. You can check him on TikTok and Instagram at Mike Patola. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
yeah, you can find me furiously reading Dune so I could start playing Metroid Dread in earnest at BenMagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you like old school video games like I do, I also write for Old School Gamer magazine. I also will be trying to get an article out this week because, once again, Dune's coming and I got to finish that book first.
It is a coming.
It's
Spice
a
must
coming.
flow.
Ryan?
You can find me going live in 25 minutes at the Downright Annoyed with movies at DJ Tony Snark, baby.
Right? Sparks?
You can find me at DJ Tony Snark.
Sparks?
You can find me cheering on the Giants at Sparks Woody on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
I love
I
love
just-
football.
So I just noticed.
Beat LA.
So I just noticed your hat is from when they won the 2012 National
Oh,
League
yeah.
Championship.
Subscribe to
All right.
us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Until next time you see us,
Go Dodgers.
stay fake nerds.
No time.